Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Warner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/the Sports Report podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Sports Report After Dark. I am your host, Seven. Dan the Dick Warner is waiting in the background, ready to get started tonight. Before we tip off, though, I do want to say a special thank you to our sponsor, Gunslinger Soap. Gunslinger Soap is handmade soaps and beard products made without all of the junk to pamper your skin. You can go to their website right now, gunslingersoap.com, and sign up to get 15% off of your first order. And there's always free shipping over $30. That's gunslingersoap.com. Definitely check them out. And let's go ahead and bring the biggest dick in sports. He does not have the biggest dick in sports. He's white. But he is the biggest dick in sports. Dan the Dick Warner. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, buddy? What's happening?
Good to see you. Not a whole lot. I'm so excited because this first topic we're going to talk about tonight, man, it makes me so happy.
Really? It's a good, well, it's a good day to be a LeBron James fan. It's a really nice week to be a LeBron James fan. I mean, you know, he's about, I think he's like 80, what was it, 70 some points away from
I say,
3 games tops. Yeah, pretty nice. It's been a good time.
I bet it has, man. It's congratulations to him as when, being so close and when he reaches that feat. As we get started, we do want to give everybody watching that may be new to the show a heads up. We say mean shit. We swear, obviously. We get offensive. If the kids are up, put them to bed, put your headphones in, whatever you got to do. We will be here on YouTube when you get back. Snowman, I saw you in there. What is up? Thank you for joining us. And how about those 49ers, man? Right there in the NFC Championship. We're going to be talking about your 49ers here in a little bit too tonight. Charles Omenihu is opening up a family counseling camp. But we'll talk about that.
Tony, they look pretty good. They look pretty good. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I can't even do jokes like this. It's not even they're so bad. I hate how all of the old white guys that are on the fucking NFL shows just like laugh their asses off when anybody makes a fucking purdy pun. Like, it's pretty good. Like, they just think it's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, do you know how hard those production assistants worked on that for you guys just to be like, oh yeah, it was the purdy joke that got us. Oh, so funny. They're just like, these motherfuckers. Like, these motherfuckers.
Respect the fucking interns, man. Come on now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, they're
all right. So
they're writing that shit.
About this,
gold,
man.
Tony, gold.
It's fucking gold, man. They should be stand-up comedians in their own right. They really should. All right, so let's talk about Bill O'Brien. Now, for those of you that are new to the show, Bill O'Brien is one of my favorite people. And the reason why is because I developed something of an idea that some may call it a conspiracy theory, but it can't be a conspiracy theory when it's correct.
It's like the alien side of conspiracy theories. It's like everyone's like, man, it's probably true though. It's still a conspiracy, but it's probably true.
For those of you that don't know, Bill O'Brien, there's always been all this conversation about when he was with the Texans and near the end of his tenure, he made some massively bad trades and moves that really put the Texans in a difficult spot. But it has also come out since he left the Texans that Deshaun Watson was a little too friendly with 26 plus massage therapists. And the team knew what was going on. They were aware of allegations and did nothing but they did nothing but enable him. And so now we see Bill O'Brien leave the team, but you notice he still gets jobs in football. He was coaching in college, was just working for Alabama. Now has been hired as the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. That was announced either today or yesterday. I think Bill O'Brien knew what he was doing when he made all those moves in Houston. And I can't help but just clap it up.
You just mentioned another staple point in your argument that I did not realize until you just said it, is that everyone thinks fucking Bill O'Brien sucks now because he fucked that Houston job up, right? And they think he sucks. And he doesn't, because everyone keeps hiring him. And everyone else is like, oh yeah, you fucking ran Houston into the ground. It's like, yeah, no, he actually ran Houston into the ground. Like he actually did. Like he's a fucking G. Like he just wasn't standing for it. He's like, I'm just gonna do some fucking under the rug shit.
Yeah, he screwed Houston almost as much as Deshaun Watson screwed those massage therapists. And
26 that they know about.
Count it.
Count it.
And
that was like almost as good as my Purdy joke. Almost
as good.
Right there.
Almost as good as your Purdy joke. But Bill O'Brien has been hired, and I think a crafty mind like Bill O'Brien with a shisty mind like Bill Belichick, Mac Jones is going to look like a god next year. I have a feeling. It's just there's something that's telling me is something. Yeah. Patriots are going to break open again because that's two good minds together. What do you think?
How close do you think Bill Belichick got to just going, hey, we're just going to try and do the Tom thing again? Like we're going to use Mac. It's kind of the same thing. We're just going to try and do the Tom thing again. And he's like, seems like it'll work. Yeah, seems like it's pretty good. It was a pretty good plan. It was a pretty good plan in the first place. So it's Brady. Yeah, it's just we're just gonna do the Tom Brady thing. Like we're just gonna make him the same player. Okay, we're gonna try that. And they're like, check. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah,
sounds like good. I mean, because any coach can make a quarterback look good if you know how to scheme him. I mean,
absolutely.
Dak Prescott looks good sometimes.
It's like this show is about like the mental side of sports, right? If you think about how big of a difference the mind is for an NFL quarterback, it's fucking not, dude. Tom Brady is not a good athlete, bro. Like I'm pretty sure that like I could probably maybe beat Tom Brady in a one-on-one basketball game. He's a savage in basketball too, probably. But I actually know he is. Probably get close though, for real. Like I mean, I would actually be able to defend him, right? He's not just gonna dominate me. It's like, yeah, Tom's out here, whatever.
Wait, I don't know, man. How tall is he? What is he? 6'2"?
He's 6'4". He's 6'4". He's a legitimate 6'4". 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10". It's
I definitely weigh more than he does. So it's just gonna be straight bully ball. It's just gonna be straight fucking bully ball the whole time. I'm just gonna be trying to beat up Tom Brady, like just on the basketball court. So it's the legal way to do it.
Oh Jesus! Did you see the clips from Andy Reid on Brady's podcast?
No.
It's good because Andy even talks about Sunday or Saturday, whatever it was, when Patrick didn't want to come out of the game, and Tom's just sitting right there, just like, yeah. It's exactly what I would have done because he knows too. Like, and that was just a G move by Patrick, by the way. Just like absolutely refusing to go out of the game. He wanted to just get it taped up and get back out there, and they were like, nope, we got to make sure it's not broken.
Right. And I guarantee Pat could just feel that. Like he was like, it's just like he's rolled an ankle before. You could tell, like, look at how he walks and shit. He's all crazy and like his hips are all nuts and shit. You know that dude's fucking sprained an ankle once or twice. And he was just like, it's a sprain, dude. He's like, I'm good. It's gonna fucking hurt for like a week or longer than that. But like he's just gonna get a shot.
A couple weeks, yeah. They'll shoot him up with some Toradol before the game and he'll be all right.
Yes.
They're gonna just kind of like what Skip was saying on Undisputed. They're gonna wait until as close to the game as possible because they're not gonna want to shoot him up twice in one game. So you got to take it easy through warmups, try to get as comfortable as you can, get through warmups, go into the locker room right before you run out for intros. Probably maybe even on the side, like in the tunnel right before he gets called out, just right there. That way he's good to go.
Dude, what they might actually do is try and see, because he's gonna say, like, once that adrenaline gets going, dude, sprained ankles. Like, I played on a sprained ankle and like a really bad one, like going up in the air and coming down, hitting sideways on somebody's foot and shit, going all the way to the ground. Right? Yeah, I did that shit, and I played 5 days later. But that's literally because it's just adrenaline. It just takes over. Like, literally, you're just like, I'm good, and like it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker before, and it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker after, like real fucking bad. Well, but it's gonna be swollen up and shit. But he'll be fine.
He'll be
probably
fine.
Wait till halftime though.
One of the things that I think some people forget is Brittany, his wife, is a certified physical therapist. She knows what she's doing. And that's who you have that is right there assisting with the care. Now, obviously, they've got kids and all of that. And so all of those things are in play. But Brittany knows how to make sure that he's taken care of appropriately when it's just the family at home. So I think I think that's one of the things, like when he dislocated his knee, why he was able to come back quicker. If you've got somebody that lives with you that can, and all the resources that being an NFL quarterback brings, chances are you're going to be fine.
Absolutely. And so,
you know what I mean?
Brittany, by the way, somebody give her some credit. Like, how much of a, she gets a lot of shit, but like, how much of a fucking genius is she? She literally she was like, oh yeah, he's really good at football. Like, he's probably going to play in it, like, right? And they're like, what's the best thing for her to do? Like, I could probably just like do stuff, that actually helps him, like with his body and stuff like that. Like, be a trainer. And it's like, oh, fucking brilliant.
They went to high school together, and it was probably pretty clear. I mean, he's the son of a former professional baseball player, so as somebody even as gifted as he was back then, it's not hard to figure out. Yeah, that's probably where he's going. And
when he was like 18 or 19, there was legitimate people coming around and going, "Hey, this dude's going to play in the NFL regardless of where he goes to school, right? It's just going to be like, this guy's that good. Like, he's going to play in the NFL." And that's probably when she was like, "Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense. Total sense." And genius move.
They went to college together, obviously. She takes, she just goes the PT route, because then chances are she was probably working with him on the side of the field when she wasn't cheerleading. I can't remember if she was a cheerleader in college or not, but if she wasn't, I would assume that she was right there on the side of the field, probably as the one that was taking care of him anyway. So,
like, we just seen pictures of that if she was a cheerleader, right?
Well, I mean, she was a cheerleader in high school.
No, I'm saying in college.
In college, yeah. And that's the thing is I've seen the high school pictures, but I've never seen anything that references college, so I'm not sure. But
yeah,
I would be willing to bet that, and that's the thing is I get that Brittany can be kind of annoying. She's also an early 20-year-old female. Jackson Mahomes is annoying. He's fucking 18. You show me somebody that's 18 to 25, guess what? They're pretty fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Again, not saying their behavior's perfect, but like when everybody flipped out on her for spraying the champagne over the KC crowd, was that last year or the year before? What they completely ignore is the fact that there was a gigantic group of people below her cheering her to fucking do what she did. And so, yeah, I'm sure there were people there that didn't want it sprayed on them. I get that. I'm not criticizing that feeling.
Get over it.
But they are fucking entertainers. That is their job.
Yeah.
Whether you are the primary person or not, that is your job. You are an entertainer. And so, I mean, I follow her on Twitter. She seems to me like a pretty normal 25-year-old chick. And
right.
I don't get what the fucking problem is.
Like, anybody, just for the champagne thing, like anybody who's actually an actual sports fan is going to be like walking away from that, like, oh, she fucking sprayed champagne on me. Excited as fuck. You know what? We would, right? And like, yes. Yeah. Like, if you're really not, I mean, if you're at a fucking sporting event, they're really not like, some of them are not tame. Like, I've been to a fucking Raiders fucking Chiefs game, dude, where everyone leaving early thought that the fucking Raiders won. So think about that. And so it was fucking ridiculous. The dude's just getting in fights and shit. The champagne is like the least, that's the simplest thing that's going to get done, or you're going to see.
Right. No, and you're exactly right. And that's why I think the criticism of Brittany Mahomes is just outlandish. Everybody was criticizing Jackson when he danced on, was that Sean Taylor's number in Washington? He stood where they told him to stand.
Yes, he did not understand that there was a fight. He didn't even see that number on the field.
He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't looking down at that. He was trying to get the fucking social media vid recorded so they could get it dealt with and they could move on with their fucking day. Like, it's not that complicated. But okay. All right. Sorry. Back to Bill O'Brien.
You're good. You're fine.
Back to Bill O'Brien. So Now the question is, you're New England, you get Bill O'Brien as quarterback or as OC. Do you keep Mac Jones or do you try to see if you can move up?
Yeah, you can stick with Mac Jones. I think they're trying to do the Brady thing. I think that what I was gonna say is like, how close do you think Belichick got to like actually just saying that? Like he was like, oh, we're just gonna kind of put the old system, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was basically just, he said everything except for we're gonna make it for Tom. Like we tried to do the Tom because it's pretty much because Mac's like kind of the same kind of player. Like if he even like moves like him and shit.
Then why didn't he grab Hackett?
Right, but because I mean, they're trying to do the same thing.
Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. And
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because for most of that time, O'Brien was the offensive coordinator for Brady, right? Like, so it would have been like the 11
in the early
title,
years,
13, and then so like 11, 13, and maybe 15 he might have been too. Now that would have been like Houston time, but
no, he was in Houston by then.
Yeah, so like he in the prime of it, like that was like they were probably running because they're running all cylinders. That 2007 Randy Moss year, he was definitely on that fucking coaching staff.
Yeah.
So like so like that fucking offense was fucking savage. Like so they're just gonna try and go back because Mac Jones is, I think he's the same player, dude. Like it's just mentally, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Is like that's how big of the mind game is because some of these dudes are fucking freak athletes and they're not good quarterbacks. And then some of them are just like Brady, it's just all the fucking mind game, dude. Like especially with quarterbacks, like real hardcore. Because you don't see a whole lot of like that big of a discrepancy in fucking athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like at one position, you really don't. Like look at an athlete like Lamar Jackson and look at Mac Jones. Like those are two different species of athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they play the same position. Like, and that's why it's just such a huge, I don't know, it's such a huge mind thing. And like the tools, like what can you use? Because they like Mac and Tom, just that's all they're going to be able to do is pocket pass, dude. They can't move. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's faster than everybody, so they have to use their arm basically. So it's just the strangest, like how much the mind matters for quarterbacks, especially.
So you're predicting that they're going to focus on creating a scheme that's going to help Mac Jones be the next Tom Brady-esque type quarterback, where it's all about the mental side of it, because obviously Mac Jones is not a huge athlete. Not to disrespect him, he has a decent arm, but just he's not an athletic quarterback.
No, not at all. And like just the arm strength. I think he does have it up top, and I think that's why Bill's smart, dude. Bill's not fucking doing this out of like, oh, well, we'll just guess what Mac Jones is going to be like. No, I think Bill sees something in Mac Jones and he goes, this dude can be the same like mind as Tom Brady was, or somewhere similar. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's got the same kind of temperament and everything. If you watch interviews with him and shit, he's very, he's always like, it's always G-rated. It's always down the line, 100%, lots of effort, like the whole time. And he's like, I think that's what Brady did the whole time. That's why everybody hated him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he was just like the perfect example. And like nobody wanted anybody to be the perfect example, especially while you're fucking just rolling off fucking Super Bowls. Like, I don't know, man. I think that Bill sees that fucking Mac Jones is legit, though, is what I'm saying. Like, I think that he's going to try and do the same thing.
Will he succeed? Do you think he can succeed?
He cannot recreate what they're trying to recreate. I'll tell you that much.
I mean,
he can't,
exactly.
That's obviously an impossible task, right? I mean, well, it might not be. I mean, it's be very rare, I guess. If Mac even won one, I'd be surprised, honestly. But like I said, let him set up the system. I mean, obviously, Bill's got, if anything that Bill Belichick does, I'm on board with. I'm like, all right, he knows what he's doing. You should be too if you're a Patriots fan, right?
I mean, exactly. And that's the thing is, Bill, for all of the criticism that Bill O'Brien has faced because some of his methods would be considered questionable, the truth of the matter is, it's professional sports. Bill Belichick is there to get results, and Bill Belichick gets fucking results.
Absolutely.
And so it's, and like I said, that's what I said. And then you add the brilliant mind of Bill O'Brien back with him. That's a potent combo. That really is a potent combo. That division is going to see some smoke next year from the Patriots.
They're just going to bludgeon people with fucking five wide, 2 slot wide receivers, shotgun for Mac Jones, and just let him sit there and just throw 3-yard out routes until they fucking die. Like literally, it'll just be until they just pound, like it'll just go in the end zone. We're like, oh fuck, and they'll just run it in from like 2 yards out, and that's That's what they did with fucking. I mean, even the 2007 year, that was the best offense at the time that had ever existed. Like it scored the 2007 New England Patriots scored this. I think it was the second most points. I think it was 98 Vikings were first team points per season, and then right behind him the fucking that offense was a well-oiled machine. And yes,
efficient as fuck.
Oh my god, dude! Like I remember watching those games and being like, this motherfucker is not going to throw an incomplete pass. He's just not like he would be like 21 of 24 for like, and I'm like, god damn, because
it was like 175 to 200 yards because he was just dinking and dunking his way down the field, or he'd throw like 45 passes in a game, but it was still less than 250.
So like, Tony, imagine
go ahead.
You play. Sorry, but I didn't mean to cut off. You've played a little bit of defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, just imagine like just playing a flag football game, right? And like instead of like being able to be 2 yards away from a dude, you have to back up 5. You know what I'm saying? Like you have, and then you get a start because that's gonna, dude. It's such a huge thing because Randy Moss was lifting those secondaries. He literally took the whole secondary and went like this to it, just moved it back about 3 yards. That's what Randy Moss does, and that's all he did to that offense. That's the only thing they don't have is like I think we probably, I mean, obviously we overestimate that offense because there was Randy Moss on it.
Yeah.
And obviously Tom was just in his straight prime. Like he was, 20? He would have been, it was fucking 16 years ago. That's crazy. But yeah, he's still, Tom was in his prime 16 years ago.
He was late 20s. Yeah, it was late 20s.
16 years ago, Tom Brady was in his prime and he's still playing. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, O'Brien and fucking New England's fucking beautiful. Like I really do trust Bill Belichick I think he's the GOAT of coaches. So I mean, obviously the guy and his ability to adapt is really what it has been. It's just been, he just fucking figures out how the NFL is and then sets a game plan to how the NFL is playing at that time. And it's fucking perfect. He's going to have a turnover oriented defense that scores, right?
And he's a very defensive minded coach. So I think that we'll see a lot more out of that defense next year, because I think this was a rebuilding year for Belichick, if you will, for the defense.
Right. And I think the craziest part about it is, and he almost did this the whole time, if you think about it, Belichick builds his team backward from what it actually is right now, because it's offense. And then you play your defense, like your defense, say Kansas City's defense, they love to get turnovers and get sacks and get fucking forced fumbles, right? Because they're fast, they're aggressive, they're going to be fucking probably up 14 points so they can fucking do that shit, right? So like they're tailoring their defense to their offense, where Belichick tailors his defense to the offense to the defense. Like, so he'll actually play defense off of how his offense plays, which is fucking insanity. And it's like, it's awesome though. Like that guy understands a whole new level of like and I don't even like, I'm not like a big X and O's guy, but like he's an X's and O's guy, and he's a fucking,
he is definitely an X's and O's guy. Yeah.
Oh man, he's so good, dude. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so you put Belichick as the GOAT. Where are you going to put Andy Reid? Because he has had an absolutely stellar career with consistent records in multiple franchises. So where do you put Andy Reid in something like that with what he's accomplished?
Andy Reid is ascending right now. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Andy Reid's like in the
going up.
He's absolutely in his ascension. I think his curve was obviously always up, but then now it's just like straight to the sky. Like, I think he's going to get into that GOAT conversation because, like, I mean, just he's the opposite way. He plays his defense is played off of his offense. Like, he just scores. Yeah. Like, obviously he has fucking Patrick Mahomes to thank for his upward arc. Let's be honest. But like, he was always a great coach. I mean, he made shitty quarterbacks all day. Like, I don't hate Donovan McNabb. I actually like Donovan McNabb, but like, that's not obviously not Patrick. Nobody's ever been Patrick Mahomes' quality.
No, but like, I mean, but look at like Michael Vick. Stellar. That dude was more about his ability to run. Like, he had an okay arm, but he still schemed that offense to utilize Vick's talents. He helped McNabb look like a better quarterback than he was. Because I will say he was good, but I don't think he was as good as the hype that was surrounding him deserved.
No, I think Don McNabb was a freaking great athlete for real. And I think he was a great quarterback. I mean, he legitimately was, but injuries were a big deal for him. He's a bigger guy. He played balls out. He fucking there was no, he slid towards the end of his career, but like in the first, he was just fucking jumping over the line.
Allen shit. Yep.
Yeah. Doing some crazy shit. And he's not that big. Like he's like 6'2", 220, I think. So thick guy, but like sometimes that's not a good thing. Obviously we've seen that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's those muscles, when they're that fucking tied ball together, they're not as flexible, you know? So they're not, They can't. So like, I think that's a lot of those guys' problems. Fucking Saquon Barkley, dude. Like that dude is ripped out of his mind, gets injured all the time. It's because like, it's almost like he needs to like be more flexible basically. So like that, I don't know, but yeah, sorry, I got a topic.
No, you're good. You're good. No, but that's
we're talking about McNabb.
So, yeah. So you think that there's still quite a bit up for Andy, as far as his trajectory is concerned, results wise.
Oh, I mean, obviously. I mean, dude, how long can he coach for at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to fucking get on a treadmill. Question. He needs to get on a treadmill and start eating some salads, bro, for real. Because, like, he might need to be sticking this out into his 80s.
He has a salad on his burger. Is the lettuce and the tomato?
It's right on top. He gets very thick gardens on his burgers. Very thick gardens. You're like, is that supposed to mean he's healthy? Yes, he's eating his vegetables. They're on top of the huge cheeseburger that's underneath there, which is always 2 times as large. It's always twice. He likes to do a 2-to-1 ratio with his
2-to-1 ratio.
But yeah, then he's just got fucking just barbecue sauce all over it. You know he does. Ketchup. Sounds fucking delicious, Tony. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want Andy Reid's diet. He probably eats good burgers, you know what I'm saying? Like good Kansas City fucking downtown.
My goal if Kansas City makes the Super Bowl is I want to get Andy Reid's attention, and I want to find somewhere. There's a spot here in Arizona that I want to take Andy to get a burger. Because I just want to have a burger with Andy Reid. Like, I'm not even going to bug him about cheese questions or autographs. Like, this guy clearly knows a good burger. So I want to get his perspective and really, really just appreciate it, because I love a good burger, man. Like that's
and you trust his opinion on food. Clearly,
how could you not trust his opinion on food?
Have you seen that man? Yes, I trust his opinion on food.
He clearly knows what to look for when it comes to good food.
2 things I'm positive that Andy Reid can fucking teach me are football and fucking hamburgers, cheeseburgers, like ones with cheese on them. Those are the 2 things I'm certain of.
You know, here's the thing though. If you know how Trevor Lawrence said that he likes to go to Waffle House after a win, could you imagine if he was the one that was in Kansas City with Andy Reid?
Yes, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Andy Reid is on the upward trajectory also because he evolved, Tony.
Absolutely.
He adapted to the NFL. And he's one of the best ever at it. Like he did a fucking merry-go-round play that should make everybody an Andy Reid fan. If you're already not, which you should be, because he's a fucking awesome dude.
I can't believe the amount of people that considered that play to be disrespectful. Really?
Dude, shut the fuck up. Seriously,
are you talking about disrespecting the Raiders, the same team that did the last time they beat the Chiefs, did a victory lap in their bus around Arrowhead? Coincidentally, haven't won since against Kansas City. Just saying. But
there was a penalty on that play, Tony. But what happened on that actual play? Do you recall?
The
Chiefs scored a fucking touchdown. I'll give you the answer.
Yeah,
it fucking worked. Fuck you guys for even like, what the fuck? It actually worked, you idiots. It's not like he just went out there and was like, did some pointless shit. He did the merry-go-round so that they could break off in a fucking formation and they couldn't pick people up. It's an actual strategy. And this is the NFL, so suck a dick. It's not fucking Alabama playing Colgate, okay? These guys are fucking professionals. Like, it's not, there's no, like, this is the NFL. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I agree.
I hate that shit, dude. He made the merry-go-round play.
He did. Brilliance. And here's the thing. Everybody's going to shit their pants when when they pull off successfully the behind the back pass, whatever play that is, it's going to be stupid. Like, it's going to be stupid. It's going to score a touchdown, and everybody is going to lose their fucking mind.
I'm going to call it, Tony, to what I think it's going to be. Do you know how think about this, though? This is just the most logical. They're going to do like a fucking thing where they literally take it's going to be like a backup tight end. And they're going to put him in like a trips left, right? And they're literally going to have Patrick fucking catch the shotgun snap and throw behind his back and then do the fake thing. Like it's going to be behind the back to the tight end it's a screen behind his back. He's going to throw a quick screen with it. And then he's going to fake a pass to the right. That's what the actual play is going to be. It's going to be a quick like running play, basically.
Yeah, they're not going to take a huge risk. It's not like he's gonna be 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and then pass it back to somebody. Like, I mean,
we're not expecting a dime here. We don't need a dime. We need to just fucking just a real quick, like a pass that you and me could make. Like literally like a just throw off to the side, like, yes, 1 of 1, baby, coming off the floor. Like, yeah, one of those kind of passes.
I'm officially retiring. Yeah, no, I feel you. Okay.
And then just do that Boise State Statue of Liberty play.
Yep, there you go.
Fake it. Yeah, they're gonna do that shit. But anyway, yeah, Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
We're talking about Belichick O'Brien. Sorry,
it's fine. Now we're wrapping through that. We're gonna be moving to the next topic. So really quick, Chiefs Bengals. Who you got?
Oh my gosh, you would. If I was a betting man, which I happen to be.
I happen to be
one. I would fucking go Kansas City.
With Kansas City being the underdog, it's definitely, I feel like, because the line has swung at least 3 points since it opened, because Kansas City was 1.5 points ahead. And now it's Cincy by like 1.5 points or 2 points, maybe even up to 2.5 by now. I like Kansas City. I think that the injury to Patrick Mahomes is being made out to be a bigger deal than it was, kind of like you said. And I think we may see a little bit more in the run game, but Jerick McKinnon is fucking perfect. Like, Kansas City has found their feature back moving forward in Jerick McKinnon, and Sky Moore is absolutely stellar. So I think that we're going to see a lot more ground game, but I think it's going to work. 2
things. I want a fucking Chiefs Isaac Pacheco jersey. That dude is
I'm sorry,
bad motherfucker.
Not, I didn't mean Sky Moore. That's my fault.
I know you
Isaac Pacheco. Yeah,
that dude is a fucking I'm a running back fan,
right?
Like I just have a soft spot for him. And holy shit, that dude is a fucking beast, bro. Like, where the fuck did you guys? That's another thing. Andy Reid fucking finding Isaac Pacheco in the 7th fucking round. Have you guys seen that dude? Like, how in the fuck did people miss on this guy? Seriously, that's what I think every time I see him. I'm like, what the fuck? How did the scouts not go, oh, that guy's fucking gonna be good? Like, what the fuck did they not see?
Well, listen, what is it with the 7th round out of this year? Because we got Pacheco. Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, but you can't call him that anymore. Clearly, that kid is doing some great fucking things and has stolen the starting job in San Francisco moving forward. I think he's going to be more Brady-esque than Mac Jones. Honestly, like I think there's a huge upside and huge potential out of Brock Purdy. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, he seems to be pretty good. Where's the crickets?
Get the fuck out of here.
Josie, if Josie's listening, wanted me to teach her about fucking betting. This, Josie, is what a betting man would call a trap game.
Absolutely.
This is a trap game by definition. It actually just look at the line throughout the week on how many points that Kansas City's favored by or how many points Cincinnati's favored by. And then try and make a bet every day and see if you can get it, because it's just a fucking nightmare. I bet you'll miss all of them. It'll just be like, nah, today it's like every single one
of them.
It's just ridiculous. Because how the fuck are those guys so good at this, by the way? That's all I was gonna say. How the fuck are the guys in Vegas so good at fucking making lines and over-unders?
They get some stuff wrong, but they're usually pretty consistent as far as where these lines are. And that's what's frustrating for me as a Chiefs fan. That's why I can't bet on the Chiefs, because I'll look at things. Oh, how is, this player done against this team before? If that's an option, how many yards does Patrick throw on average against the Chargers? Okay, well, we'll go for, he's going to throw over this amount. And then he doesn't even get close. They decide to run at that game. It's like, fuck. Like, yeah. I cannot bet on the Chiefs.
What was it? 350-1 last week against Jacksonville. The line was 9.5. Kansas City was giving 9.5 points, so they had to win by 10. And how many they end up? They fucking field goal, 40 seconds left.
7. And that's the thing. I say last week, take the under on the or take at line at 10.5. Take Jacksonville to cover. Kansas City's still going to win, but take Jacksonville to cover because it's going to be a 1-score game. That's actually
why I took Kansas City. I heard your suggestion. And I was like, I'm going opposite. I'm going. No, I'm kidding. But
I can tell other people what to bet, but if I bet that same bet, we're all fucked.
40 seconds.
Because I said the under as well, and they stayed just below the under.
Just right when he hit that field goal line. You know that fucking Kansas City's not going to score again. Why would you know what I'm saying? Why would they? Unless it was like a quick 1, 2, 3, they were down and they were in field goal range because of the onside kick. That's the only way I could see it. And then they kick the field goal, make it 2 scores, and then it's over, right? That's very rare. They were just fucking Jacksonville didn't have any timeouts anyway. So they couldn't even have made them, couldn't stop the clock. So if they would have been able to stop the clock, obviously, but how do they know that shit? You know what I'm saying? Because they get a lot of shit super fucking close, dude. They use algorithms and stuff, I'm assuming, right? I mean, they just run a bunch of games through.
I would assume Amazon, that Amazon Analytics, what they talk about with the stat that commercials. I have to assume that those are in play when it comes to how they're setting those numbers. There's no way it's not.
Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's telling the future. Is it not?
I mean,
pretty fucking close to the future.
But it's pretty close when it comes to these things, because there are, because even if you go to let's say you go get a tarot reading. You ever had a tarot reading?
No, I have not.
Very
not
interesting.
A professional one.
And when you get a tarot reading, one of the things that they always talk about when you're looking at something involving the future, is it's always based on the path that you're on now, and any decision can alter that path. And I think that when Vegas sets these lines and these algorithms, I think that's kind of what applies. But at the same time, they are setting these things, accounting for more of those variant things to happen and what might happen. And so that's going to affect the line for Travis Kelce for receiving yards is 86. But if you bet the over, it's -100. If you bet the under, it's -110. Because they're we're not really sure how this one's going to go. So we're not going to make it beneficial either way.
Right. So I understand what you're saying. Some of the more prominent lines are obviously going to catch because those games they probably put the most fucking of their resources into, because you're correct that literally with the amount of fucking information that is literally flying around in the air around both of our heads right now, it's literally with the amount of information now. Have you seen fucking Don't Look Up? Please tell me you've seen Don't Look Up on Netflix, right? Where the dude tells him that we can, with all the information that we can access, which he says, which is basically everything, he said, we can predict when you will die and at what age and how. And he's completely serious. And that's literally what it's like. They can get pretty close with just how histories go. And that's so much information. It's never been that way. Do you know what I'm saying? That's when everybody ever did it. Cause we've never had this amount of information accessible all at the same time. It's fucking ridiculous. Right. And is that a good thing? I don't know. We're 8 minutes to midnight on the fucking the apocalypse calendar or the apocalypse.
Oh, the doomsday clock. Yeah, they moved it up. They moved it up. What? Because no, I think it's at 90 sec. Because I thought it was. They moved it up 4 minutes, and now it's at 8 minutes till.
Yeah, I think the highest it's ever been though is 50 some minutes in the 40s or something. I can't remember. It's 51 minutes. It's 51 minutes to midnight is the lowest it's ever, or the highest it's ever been, I guess. It's they didn't think we were all going to fucking die at that point. But this is as close as it's been since apparently it was made ever. So that's not great. They're basically just going, fuck. They're figuring out fucking nuclear weapons. Fuck. It's just going closer. Aliens help us.
Help us.
Okay.
So, we talked a little bit about Brock Purdy. We got the 49ers coming up to face the Eagles in the NFC Championship game on Sunday. But it was announced that Monday, linebacker Charles Omenihu was arrested on misdemeanor domestic violence charges after he allegedly pushed his girlfriend in an argument. She did refuse medical attention, but she did mention that she was in pain. He was booked, bonded out, or bailed out and released and served with a restraining order on Monday. The Niners have said as long as he is healthy, he is going to play. The league has said that until the legal process plays out, he is going to keep his status of being an active player. Do you think that they should be, do you think there's a reason they should be considering not having him play on Sunday outside of the fact that he's dealing with an oblique strain?
Absolutely not. Because, I mean, obviously I don't have all the information. I literally have the information that you just told me. Okay. So that's what I'm operating off. Not a lot, but at the same time, like what that sounds like to me is that sounds like a domestic spat. I think that could be classified as kind of a, right. That's what it sounds. That's exactly what it sounded like.
That's fair.
They clearly, they mentioned that she wasn't like, they would have mentioned like, she had visible cuts and bruises, shit like that. It was clearly
there wasn't anything mentioned that in the article.
He's a strong dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get it. But like, I feel like it gets choppy. At some points, it's going to get choppy with a lot of people.
Especially when it comes to domestic situations
yes.
There's so many different things that can be in play with a situation like that you really don't know what's going to happen. And he does have legal right to, go through everything and go through the process. And maybe the one thing that she doesn't want to mention is she swung on him first, and when he pushed her, he was defending himself. And media outlets aren't typically going to report that because that's not as much news. So,
right.
It's one of those things where you do have to kind of wait it out and see, especially when it's something that doesn't seem like it was where anybody ended up in the hospital. He was served a restraining order. He's leaving her alone. Probably,
right.
Yeah, wait it out. I kind of agree. Do you think that from a normal standpoint, I see what you're saying. Now, do you think that, especially when you're going into an NFC title game, there's a point where the issue could be too much of a distraction for him or his teammates?
No, I doubt it even. I mean, besides his like closer friends on the team who might ask about it, I don't think he's like, they're not even going to it's not even going to be like brought up or anything. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because it's not something that they saw as like overtly, and I don't think anybody's going to see it as like overtly fucking, abusive or crazy. Right. I feel like they're gonna they're just not gonna talk about it. It's just gonna be like, that's his thing. Like that's his business. That's how I hope it's handled. And I think that, Jim Harbaugh's a pretty fucking classy guy. John Harbaugh, or sorry,
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, with the names.
Dude, fucking swing and a miss.
I know. I'm an asshole. No, John Harbaugh's not still the coach of the 49ers. Wow. I feel like Josie about basketball. Don't know what I'm talking about. No. I think it's bullshit. He is the fucking starting middle linebacker though, right?
Yeah.
I think he's like third in the fucking NFL in tackles or something. But because obviously
he's a talented player. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing is, it's like, on the field, the guy is definitely a key piece for their defense. To have him not there would definitely be would cause some difficulty for their effectiveness. I'm sure, Snowman, if you're still watching, you can attest to that fact. Omenihu's an important piece of that defense. And if they want to have a chance to beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl, to try and get revenge for when they blew the lead in the Super Bowl.
You're just trying to, are you provoking right now?
No,
are you fishing? I
am a nice person. I am a nice person, Dan. I would never provoke somebody by talking shit about their team who blows more leads than a hooker on Saturday night in LA. Just saying.
Blows more leads than a bad detective. No.
But here's the thing. Shanahan has actually gotten better as a coach. I definitely think the stress of being in California has made him withdraw within himself and focus more on coaching. No, it's right. He has gotten better though.
Absolutely. Dude, I don't think he was ever bad. I think that I think that he's the perfect example of one of those X's and O's guys who they kind of just trust because he's so good at the X's and O's. I don't think that Kyle Shanahan is a fucking leader. He's not a raw guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just in there like, these guys are following him because they know it's going to win them the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they think it's going to win them the game, like legitimately.
Right.
So that's where he gets a lot of his like respect from in that locker room, is definitely that he's a fucking, the guy's been around since he was fucking 6. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
because of his dad, right? Yeah. He's like, Shannon Sharp watched him grow up.
Right. And like, I've heard stories about fucking him, like, he would be like drawing up plays all the time, like when he was like a little kid in freaking practice. Can you imagine that shit, dude? Like, that's some hands-on experience at a very young age. Like, I'm pretty sure most of us could get pretty fucking good at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could probably get pretty good at it. But like, he's just been around.
When you get to grow up with one of the greatest offensive-minded coaches of a generation in Mike Shanahan, when that's your person, and his dad is still in his ear as far as what they do, like, how do you not just turn into an amazing offensive-minded coach? Like,
yeah,
I think it's probably one of the reasons why Brock Purdy is as effective as he is everything happened and Mike said, all right, Kyle, listen,
right,
this is how you save your season.
Yes, absolutely. Just get like, Mike was the fucking raw guy. Do you know what I'm saying? His dad was the raw. So like, his dad and that's a good point, Tony, because like his dad probably gives him the raw shit, like, to, like, behind it, like, this is how you could, control that. And it's really just like psychological stuff. Like, those locker rooms are fucking beasts to control. If you lose them, you don't get them back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really get them back.
Ask Urban Meyer.
You don't get them back. Yeah.
You don't get them back. Well, and the thing of it is like, because as a head coach, like, most of your job is controlling the ego, the 55 plus egos in that locker room. And your position coaches do a lot, but at the end of the day, the buck stops with you, and you've got to be able to walk in and, hey, Patrick, how's Brittany and Sky doing? And walk over to Travis Kelce and go, hey, how's everything going, man? You got any dates lined up? Or whatever. Because I can't remember if he has a girlfriend or not. Maybe he does. Yeah, that's right. He does. He's still with that one chick.
Kelce?
Yeah, Kelce. He's been with the same chick for years, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Beautiful newbie.
Or, whatever. She's so pretty. But he's got to manage all of those different guys at their level, which is how you're effective as a leader, is you got to get onto each person's level. And talk to them in the way that they need to be communicated with to do their fucking job. Like, it's in concept, it's not hard, but in practice, it takes a lot of work.
Right. And either you get the guy who's like really good at like kind of acting through that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of like, he's putting on a little bit of a show and they believe him. And then like the bad cases are like when you have a guy who's like putting on a show and is like, nobody really thinks he's genuine. Does that make sense? Like that's a bunch of dudes' problems. Like with those NFL locker rooms, dude, like those guys are smart, man. They're also working as a group to try and figure out if you're legit or not. Right. So like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a team. You're like, if you're doing a bad job, you are fucking outnumbered like a motherfucker, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if that locker room turns on you, they're not coming back. Like, it's just not going to happen. They're going to be like, no, and that's your shot. You know what I'm saying? Like props to him for real though. Cause like we're sitting here talking like, oh, well, he just became a fucking coach because his dad was good. Well, no, that guy's worked his fucking ass off.
He's had to prove that he knows what he's doing. I'm sure the connections that he got from his dad didn't hurt. I mean, networking,
obviously,
any major entertainment industry out. The truth of the matter is, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
And when it comes to those levels, and so it's yes, who his dad is helped, but at the same time, he had to, that's what got his foot in the door. And especially after
coach juicing, Tony.
He was coach juicing, but like, that's what got his foot in the door. You think he didn't have talent when he proved that even though he was the play caller in the 28-3 game, Falcons, he was the play caller for the Falcons when they blew that lead. Being able to prove that he wasn't a complete fucking idiot. Of course he had to prove that.
Didn't let himself become the guy who blew the fucking 25-point lead to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's no longer that guy.
so many people don't really bring it up anymore. The foul on March 28th, guess who gets lit up on Twitter? The Atlanta Falcons. Guess who doesn't get lit up on Twitter? Kyle Shanahan.
Yes, absolutely. They've like if he just like fucking like that ended his fucking life mentally. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just like not in coaching anymore. Like people would just be dogging on him like a mother. He would be probably one of the main fucking, memes, the mean memes. He would be one of those guys, but like, he's just made himself basically, they're like, okay, Kyle Shanahan to me even now is the coach of the San Francisco 49ers when they were good.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's no longer that guy. And like, let's be honest. I mean, that's a lot. That fucking 28-3 thing is a whole nother episode, but that shit is not on. I don't think that shit is on Kyle Shanahan hardly at all. Like, could he have ran the ball a little bit more? Yes, but like he was fucking baking people, dude. Like in the first half, they were fucking just doing whatever they wanted. Like he wasn't prepared to be like, oh shit, now I got to backpedal, right? Like I'm like they probably told him at halftime, put the fucking foot on the gas, fucking let's blow these dudes out. And instead of hey, pump the brakes a little bit, right? And then he has to pump the brakes fucking mid third quarter when it's fucking 14 to would have been 17 to 28. It's like, oh shit.
17, yeah.
It's like, oh shit. It's like, all right, pump the brakes. No more gas. We got to fucking lean off this. That's how fucking hard that shit is. It's hard.
But also coming off the fact that he was the head coach of the Chiefs, or he was the head coach of the Niners when they blew that lead to the Chiefs in 2019 in early 2020 for the 2019 season, the Super Bowl for that year.
Right. Was that Kaepernick?
No.
Alex Smith. Kaepernick was like 2015.
And Alex Smith was before that.
Would have been before that, yes. When did you say?
No, 2019. The Super Bowl for the 2019
I'm thinking of the wrong
season.
Game.
The first Chiefs Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. I don't remember.
Shanahan was the head coach of the 49ers, and they blew that lead. But even still, he has proved that he is growing. And I think that the reason they blew that lead was more about what Patrick Mahomes was doing and Kansas City finally getting a groove on defense than Kyle Shanahan doing a bunch, because they did run in the second half of that game when they had that lead. They were doing what they could to try and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field.
Did we just unintentionally prove what we were talking about as far as like nobody remembers that shit? Because I really actually did not remember that game. And it's like but that's the thing. You're right. That's how good he has gotten as a coach, and how well he has recovered from those struggles that he had early in his career. And obviously, like it always does, when we're talking about coaches, his fucking roster is pretty good for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're pretty good. It's in that roster in that's why I don't want to see San Francisco in the Super Bowl. I would rather see the Eagles, not just because of the Kelsey brothers content that's going to be fucking glorious when it happens. But because I think the 49ers are a more complete team than the Eagles. I think the 49ers are the most complete team in the NFL that's left. As a whole. I don't know, because the Bengals are pretty. I mean, yes, the Bengals have had to deal with some injuries, but despite that, they're still a pretty complete team. Clearly showing last week because it's not easy to do what they did against the Bills. The Bills are a good team, right? And I think that the Bengals proved that they want to get back. They losing last year against Brady or against Stafford. Sorry. It's so commonly Brady. It's just, you assume, losing last year against Stafford every other year. I think he left a bad taste in Joe Burrow's mouth, and he's out for revenge. That's the fucking kicker though with the Bengals, dude. I think I think the Niners fucking roster is better as a whole, but like that's your kicker with the fucking Bengals is because, dude, fucking Joe Burrow is a savage, bro. That guy's a fucking savage. Joey Ice. That guy's a fucking savage, dude. He's got so much confidence. Try to explain this to he's got so much confidence, he doesn't give a fuck about anything other than playing football at this point. Like he's just like, I'm just fucking really good at it. And like whatever you guys really fucking have to say about it, like I'm just fucking really good. And like that is how you almost have to be. Like you almost have to be Joe Burrow, just like the dude doing that. Like that's just fucking, it's just straight. I mean, people underestimate that too. Like when an athlete loses their confidence, that's rough to recover from. A lot of them don't ever recover from it. I'd say most of them, probably like 90%. I mean, there's even if they get back to in that general vicinity, there's something missing. Right. And they just know that was a low. Like that was like, oh shit, I don't want to. And it's like, it turns into, I don't want to go back down to that point more than like, I want to be good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so they just want to like kind of just let's, I'll do enough to like be okay. But at the same time, like, they don't want to fall that high again. It's a very strange thing, but like, yeah.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, because look at things here. Like right now, Joe Burrow, and we'll get back on talking about 49ers in a minute, but like right now with Joe Burrow, he's kind of at a crossroads in his career where if he can get some consistency and actually get a Super Bowl in the next few years, he's not going to be this generation's Dan Marino. That's going to end up being Josh Allen. But right now, it's still kind of questionable. He's got to actually get it done. And that's the thing. He's got to get it done. And so I think that's why, and he knows that because the odds are stacked against him because he lost his first Super Bowl trip.
Yes. Well, and now the fucking, it's almost like when he went to the Super Bowl and shit, like they almost like acted like he did win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like they almost did. They're like, oh, just going there for the Bengals is a fucking kind of a little Super Bowl. And it's like, it feels like the expectations just got the expectations for him were Super Bowl winner. Like he won the Super Bowl last year. That's really what it was. Like, and so I feel like it's like, yes, he's got to get it done, but also how old is he? I mean, he went to school for like 5 years. So he's probably like 25.
I think he's like 25, 26, somewhere in there.
Right. Younger. Right. So like,
but that's the thing is he's got some time, but I mean, that so he's 26.
Hard thing to do.
But that there are plenty of quarterbacks that were younger when they got that first trip. Dan Marino was pretty young when he got that first trip, but he never made it back.
Right. And okay, so I see what you're saying. They're
you
kind
know what I'm talking about? And,
right.
And that's where I'm like, what's going to happen? Because that's why, like I said, within the next few years, if he gets it, he'll be, it's all right. But if he doesn't, he's going to end up as the Dan Marino of our generation.
Right. Because that fucking, all that energy and that hype and that fucking, those expectations are going to start becoming more negative and more negative and more negative and build up. And like, that is pressure that anyone, including a man with Joe Burrow's amount of freakish confidence, can crumble under. Like that's an amount of
going to hit. Yeah, absolutely.
That's an amount of like, and like, that's what it seems like. I hope it's not that. And I don't think it's going to be that. Cause I think Burrow gets one at least. Like
I would think, I mean, he's talented. He deserves at least one.
I think we probably need to stop like going straight GOAT status with like the titles though too, because now you have like one title is fucking really hard to do, bro. Like in the NFL, only 1 out of every 30 teams gets to fucking win. So you have 1 in 30 off the bat. And then they're probably deeper than that with every year that Joe Burrow is going to play. Right. Cause now he's going to get paid a bunch of money and they're going to be like, okay, well the Bengals can't afford anything else. That's why, that's where that fucking
the negative starts. Happens. Yeah.
Then the negative starts and then the negative starts. And that's,
but look at what happened with Patrick Mahomes. Everybody was thinking that $450 million deal was going to close the Chiefs' Super Bowl window really quick. And now everybody has realized that deal was actually pretty team fucking friendly.
Very team friendly. And Patty gets it too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
he knows.
So when Joe Burrow gets his money and how he reacts to that happening, because he's going to get his fucking money in Cincinnati. They're going to fucking back the goddamn truck up for that motherfucker. Probably $40+ million a year, right? I mean, it's got to be.
They have to.
Yeah. So they're going to fucking back the truck up for him. And then like, I hope that doesn't happen, but I don't know. Like it's happening kind of right now with Aaron Rodgers. Dude, I mean, Aaron Rodgers has, he has not fulfilled expectations. Let's just say that because he was so fucking good and people saw how good he was and they were like, why can't this guy win?
I don't know about that though, because I'm how many other quarterbacks who gotten back-to-back MVP twice?
Dude, regular season though. I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, right? I mean, the titles are really hard to get, dude. Like I think A-Rod did a pretty good fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, like those things are fucking hard to get. Absolutely. It's like those things are fucking hard to get, man. And to get one and to get more than one is more than probably fulfilling your, probably fulfilling your fucking expectations for sure. Like you bring one to Cincinnati, bro. You bring one to Cincinnati and you're LeBron in Cleveland. That's how bad Cincinnati's been. right?
Well, and no, and I think you're right. I think that if the Bengals manage to get, I think if he manages to get them one, it's going to be raining chili and spaghetti noodles in Cincinnati for a month because people are just going to be throwing it up into the air, which that's more useful than eating that nasty ass crap. Who the fuck puts chili on spaghetti noodles? That's disgusting.
It's actually quite delicious.
Actually, you know what? I've had it before. Too. It's okay. You know what shocked me? Peanut butter and chili.
Chili and cinnamon rolls. I've told you all about this.
Oh yeah, you said, because didn't you guys do that like in school every day, like every Friday at lunch or something like that? That was what you guys did?
Yeah, it was an every week thing. Like it was an every week thing. It's literally like it's not just a Nebraska thing at this point, but like it started in Nebraska for sure. And it's literally just like it's some weird dude just fucking took a cinnamon roll and dipped it in this chili and was like, "This is fucking amazing." And then people were like, "That's stupid." And they're like, "Oh shit, it really is fucking amazing."
it's pretty legit. I mean,
savory, sweet.
I'm not searching for it, but if somebody's like, "Hey, look, here's a bowl of chili in the cinnamon roll," and be like, "All right, I'm gonna fucking eat that."
I'm gonna send you some. I'll just make some. Everybody in Nebraska can make it too. Everybody in Nebraska can make that shit too. You know they can.
Oh god, it's chili, and you make chili and you make cinnamon rolls. Like it's not hard.
Definitely just do like the easy Pillsbury ones too. Who gives a shit? Like just put a bunch of fucking frosting on top of them. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as they have frosting on them and you can fucking dip them in chili, they're fucking great. It's all right. Like it's like the sweet savory fucking combination. It's perfect. And spicy, if you want to make it spicy, fucking even better.
You know what I miss? Burger King needs to bring back Cindy Minis.
Holy shit, dude. Yes. I was just thinking about those the other day. Isn't that weird?
They're so good. They're so good.
Sonic has those Sonic has those fucking Cinnabon things.
Oh yeah.
They're like the same kind of thing. And that's what I was thinking about Cindy Minis.
Taco Bell, for a brief moment in time, you know the Cinnabon Delights that Taco Bell has?
Yes, delicious.
For a brief moment in time, they had ones that were covered in Captain Crunch dust.
Really?
Or not the crunchy part, like the crunch berries. Like it was the Cinnabon Delight, but it had all the crunch berry dust on it. Holy shit. I got some of those. I there was one time I saw them and I tried them and I was like on lunch break at work or something. I was like, hey, these are pretty fucking legit. So I went back after work, bought 4 more packages of them. So it was 8 of them. Got home. I smoked a big bowl of weed. I'm talking big bowl of weed. And then I just downed those and I was the happiest person in the world for like 25 minutes. It was amazing. I felt like shit after because the sugar crash almost killed me.
3,600 grams of sugar. The human system was never meant to just get introduced that much at one time.
That's when I got diabetes. I think that's the exact moment it happened because those things sound like pulmonary heart disease. They should just call them. I'm surprised I didn't die. I'm really surprised I didn't.
You just have a stroke. you just stroke it out like Peter. Like right after you hit him, you just like I hate being all strokey. Left side of your body's numb. I'm like, Tony, I don't think we can do the show anymore, bro. You're freaking people out. Just kidding. That's fucked up.
What do you mean? I'm fine. We're gonna keep talking about this. So, Charles Omenihu.
If anybody has a relative that might have been all strokey, we apologize. But
my grandpa had like 6 strokes. He can bite me.
Absolutely.
I care of him through the last 4. I know for a fact that they happened. There's actually a picture.
Yes.
One of them happened. One of my grandpa's strokes happened. Like we were burying my grandmother. The day we buried my grandmother.
That's when the first one was.
That's when one of them. No, he'd already had 2 at that point.
Wow.
This was number 3. I'm serious. No, my grandpa.
Who can blame the guy?
6 strokes while he was alive.
Burying his fucking wife.
Actual,
you know what I'm saying? Like, who can blame him? Like everybody's
been married for over 50 years, and there's a picture of him when we were at the gravesite where we buried my grandmother. Because for some reason, my family has a grave plot that's just a family plot in Gentry County, Missouri.
A lot of people do that.
I know. It's weird. I don't
standard.
Know. Yeah.
They all want to be buried next to each other.
I'm getting buried. I know where I'm getting buried. I don't like any of those motherfuckers except for my grandparents, but I know where I'm getting buried.
Real quick on that though, Tone. What do you think that like people in your family think? Like, because I thought about this because my family kind of does the same thing. It's small, but like it's kind of the same thing. Like everybody else can bury. Like, what do you think? Like when your wife dies like that, and you go out and look at the headstone, and your name is next to it with an open-ended date on it. Like, what do you think, like, mentally that puts you into perspective-wise?
I could see that fucking with somebody.
You know what I'm saying?
Now they have individual headstones, so he didn't have that. He didn't see that, but like he also at that point, like I said, that was his third stroke. He ended up fighting brain cancer 3 different times before he passed. Like it was, but he was a flight engineer in the Air Force and had like 39 some combat missions into Vietnam when he was in the Air Force as a flight engineer. Like the ultimate badass. Absolutely. And most of these missions he flew well because his breakfast drink of choice at that point was a screwdriver, hold the orange juice. And so he would
so awesome.
Yeah.
A man after my own heart. A man after my own heart.
So Charles Omenihu, now his injury though, his oblique strain. Do you think that presents a problem for the 49ers?
No, he's fine.
You
shoot him up with some what'd you call it, Toradol or
Toradol? Yeah, that's what they use. Yeah, that's what they use.
What was the old stuff that they used to use? Like, it's obviously they found a better way to do it, but like it was the same thing, but it basically just numbed it out completely. Like that, I know that Toradol doesn't do that.
Wasn't it like
I can't remember the fucking name of it. If anybody knows that,
or Demerol.
Might have been Demerol, but it was an injection though too. But like I guess it was like way more archaic, basically. Like because basically just made everything go numb. So like you couldn't really like it sucked because like you don't want to be numb.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like a nerve blocker or something is what they were using.
Yeah,
now
like
that
a local anesthetic,
that,
which
it was
doesn't
like
seem like the right thing to do, right? I mean,
no, you don't want to do that because
do something to locally pain relieve, right?
Right. Yeah, and because like with nerve blocks, the problem with nerve blocks is you don't realize that, when your body is feeling pain in an area, it's your body's way of telling your brain that something is fucking wrong. And if they put something in there that blocks that neurological response, you don't know that there's something wrong. Now, I get when, in the moment in a football game, it's like, yeah, you know what's there, but we got to get that fucker back out on the field. No, don't block the nerves, block the pain, because if you don't block if you block the nerves, they're going to think they're all right because they're not feeling any pain after, when in reality, the knee is trying to tell them, I'm fucked. And they have no idea. They end up doing worse damage. Like it becomes an entire thing. Their career is over. But if you just use a shot, like Toradol, a pain medication, when the pain medication wears off in a few hours, he's going to know that ankle hurts. He's going to know that knee, that oblique hurts, whatever it is. And he's going to be able to go back, continue treating it.
Absolutely. And like on your point, there's some injuries that fucking Toradol is not going to cover up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, like what happened to Tony Pollard?
They're going to feel
but
that
I mean,
shit.
his was a break, wasn't it? Wasn't Tony Pollard's a break?
Because
originally they said it was a high ankle sprain, and it looked very similar to what happened to Patrick. And then I was hearing because I've heard Skip and Shannon talking about it a few times, and they keep saying that he broke it, but I never saw that anywhere else.
Really? I mean, I guess we trust Skip Bayless. I mean, he is a lizard.
I mean, he's so ingrained with the Cowboys organization that he knows Jerry Jones's poop schedule. So he's probably correct. I would assume he's correct.
Right. Maybe he just like accidentally leaked it. I say it's broken. Like nobody else knows. Like, oh shit.
I mean, but now what's going to happen at this point?
Nothing. Yeah. Like nobody gives a shit.
You didn't report an injury in a timely manner. The season's over.
Fuck you. Jerry Jones is probably just like eating a Whataburger. Like, fuck you, Don. He's like, fuck you, Don. At the league office. Talks to him every day. He's like, fuck you, Don. I'm not doing shit. Takes a bite of his Whataburger.
He didn't even wait for Don to call him. He just picked up the phone, called him. Don was like, yeah, Jerry, I was meaning to call you. Fuck you, Don.
Just eating a Whataburger. Just puts the phone down. You know he's like that too.
Hey, what's up, Joel?
What's up, man?
Okay, so all right, so now let's Eagles, Niners. Who you got?
Niners.
I want the Eagles to win. I will be cheering for the Eagles, but I expect the Niners to win.
Yeah, I think we're getting Kansas City, San Francisco, rematch, which is fucking awesome, right? That's gonna be a fucking great game. Where's it at? The Super Bowl.
Here.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Again. Fucking again.
I don't think you understand how. I don't think you understand how fucking hard I'm trying to find a way to get to that game because I don't want to work it. If I want to work, I can be there. I don't want to work that game because there's not a chance in hell when I get through those doors. I'm doing anything but watching football.
Absolutely. And you're just going to be fucking hammer drunk at the end of it. Just fucking
drunk. Oh, no. I'll drink after. I'm watching that game.
You're actually going to remember it.
That stadium is actually a decent spot to watch a game as long as you're not. I wouldn't want to sit up in the 400s because the view up there, it's so goddamn high.
Right. And you're like kind of over the field a little bit. Right? I mean, they leaned them out pretty good, didn't
they? They're out. I mean, but it's a steep.
Oh my God.
It is dude, fucking steep. But like
steeper than Arrowheads?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that shit used to freak me out.
I don't think it's a lot steeper. I think it's only a couple of degrees, but it's tight. And I've done like 5 or 6 stadium shows in that stadium with working for a staging company. So I'm very intimately familiar with that stadium.
Yeah. It shakes, doesn't it, a little bit?
It's not bad. It's not really that bad. We had, because when I did the WrestleMania that was there, we were pushing these. There were these mover lights, like you know what I'm talking about when I see mover lights. But they were the size of like it was like 8 foot by 10 foot was the base. Like these were fucking monstrous lights, and we had to get them from the main part of the 4th level all the way up to stands that were at the top.
Jesus.
And so it was a lot, man.
What did you use? Like wires or something, or some kind of like
we rigged up plywood. So what we did was because you know how you get the stair rails that go up the center of the section?
Yeah. That you have to hold on to because I'm freaked out.
Right. So what we did was we took a few sheets of plywood and we screwed them together, and then we took 2x4s and ran them under it in the middle so that the rail had something, so that it went around the rail. Because originally when we were doing it, they were pissed because that's what we were doing was we just put it on top of that, put it on the rail, and ran that motherfucker up there.
It's the best way to do it.
It still took 8 people to do it, but originally the stadium got pissed because we were scratching it up, and our producer contact for the WWE saw what we were doing and what we figured out how to get it up there. And the stadium was throwing a fit, and she goes, "We'll pay to get it repainted. I don't give a fuck. It's getting the lights up there," and went right back downstairs. She didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to be like, "You guys have to pay the bill for this." It's like, dude, you know how much my company made? Here, I'll just write you a check.
It cost $5,000 to maybe $10,000 to repaint those rails. If you're doing it from a highball contractor just to screw over the WWE, which if you want to do, I can respect that.
You should. Yeah,
they've got the
still
money.
Do that. They have the money. You're fine, guys. You're not taking anything from them. They think about that like that's like $5-10 to them. $5,000 and 10,000 is like $5-10.
Yes, Joel, there is awful lot of swearing. That's why the parental advisory explicit content is in the upper right corner.
We actually have a disclaimer that Tony says before the beginning of every show.
If you showed up on time, I've known that guy since since Amber was pregnant with, or Martha was pregnant with Michael. No.
Might as well run it off again.
No,
I'm kidding. Fuck shit, cock balls.
Fuck shit, cock balls.
Warning shot. Sorry,
Joel. You don't swear. Okay, I have proof otherwise. But go fuck yourself.
He was being sarcastic. That's called sarcasm.
But yeah, so I'm trying real hard. I really want to get tickets to go to the Super Bowl because if it part of it is, first of all, if it's Kansas City, of course I want to be there. But second of all week for the Super Bowl, you know who's going to be right outside the stadium shooting?
Rihanna.
No, Skip Bayless, Undisputed. All the Undisputed episodes that the week of the Super Bowl are in front of the stadium.
You should probably go work it then, because that means you're probably going to get a meet.
No, because they use union hands for that, and I don't work a union because the stagehand union down here is a fucking joke.
Like if you, and
I hate to say that. I hate to say that, but sadly it is.
If you could meet either one, Tony, hypothetical. If you could meet, if they were like, yeah, you get to like do a meet and greet with either one, you can pick Shannon or Skip. That's actually a
Shannon.
See, think about it.
Zero question. Because
bear with
here's
me.
The thing. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
You're right. Just bear with me. Like that's Skip the lizard person Bayless. We need to figure this out for the sake of the show and for the sake of humanity.
What? That's fair. That's fair.
We're the only ones onto this now, and he's amongst us.
Here's the thing.
I feel like we should know.
I feel like if I can get 5 minutes to talk to Shannon, I can probably get him to confirm it.
Probably. I mean,
I'm a pretty persuasive motherfucker. I mean, you still do this show despite having plenty better things to do, like go lose more money at the casino.
That's what I did that before. I planned for it. I did it. And then I came, like, that's what I do every Thursday. You know, it's my Thursday routine.
We got this.
I time it out. It's very important.
But yeah, like honestly, if I could, in purely because with Shannon, like, first of all, that's a big dude. And I think it would just be really cool to like stand in front of a big dude and just like
you're right. If I have to say, like, if I have to pick one, I'm definitely picking Shannon. Like, there's no doubt that he's a
Hall of Fame NFL football player. Skip Bayless is a fucking alien in a human skin. Like, I'm pretty sure I know which one I want to meet. If I can meet both of them, you bet your ass I'm going to take some flies in a little container and see if all of a sudden a 4-foot tongue comes out and catches a fly in the air. But if I only get to pick one, I'm meeting Shannon Sharp.
You just make like a panorama of a swamp. It's got like lily pads and stuff on it. And you like bring it in like in a fish tank, and you're like, you just set it right next to him. He's like, "What the fuck is that?" You're like, "Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
it." Does it entice you? Like, that's pretty cool environment, huh? Like, just try and get him to go.
Lamp on top of it. And he's just kind of inching closer to the lamp. He doesn't want to see it while he's sitting there, but he's just kind of like.
His eyes start bugging out. He starts fucking following it. It's like you're like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna go meet Shannon now. I'm gonna Skip. Great to meet you. I'm gonna go meet Shannon now. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. That shit's crazy. Like, we're the only ones who know. Fuck.
Yeah.
Did you get that on tape?
Nope. Yeah. No, because they're gonna take away my phone, because I'm sure that they are aware that we are on to his secret, and so now, you know, if we get that chance, we're not gonna really get proof. Like, we may get confirmation, but we're not getting proof.
I mean, one of them clearly hacked Joel's account, and that's what they're doing it on right now.
Yeah.
They don't know what to respond. They're like we don't swear. And it's like, oh, this is weird conversation. This doesn't seem like Joel.
That's not human.
We never say swear words like that. They're not doing a great job blending in. Skip did a good job though. But but no, obviously it's Shannon. But
it's gotta be Shannon.
Skip be interesting just because like I'd be like, Skip, bro, teach me. You have 4 minutes left of this meet and greet. Tell me everything that you know. And like, just how do I do this? Please. He wouldn't tell you. He'd tell you some bullshit story about him growing up fucking Texas somewhere or something. You'd be like, I don't care, Skip. Just tell me how to make this work. We're trying to get a couple million views every week. He'd be like, okay, here's what you do. Stars, Tony. That's what I'm saying. That's why Skip might be the guy to go to.
Honestly, if I could have 5 minutes to pick his brain on how to make this show better because of his genius and how much he knows about sports talk, I would just sit there. I would just ask a question, and then I would just start taking notes while he just went off, and I would just take everything in. Can I just? I know I can't get an odd video recording because you're probably going to take your lizard head off, your human head off at some point, and let your lizard head out. I just want to be able to record the audio just so I can go back and reference it later. That's it. That's not asking a lot.
Just for notes, and he's gonna get real close to you. Get real close to you in your ear. He's gonna say, "Talk about LeBron and the Cowboys." And you're like, fuck. Like, fuck, dude. It was right in front of us the whole time. It was right in front of us the entire time. It has been. And we'd be like, God damn it, Skip, you're a fucking genius. You are a lizard person. You really, truly are.
You truly are.
You just hug him. Like, thanks, bud. And millions of views.
Okay. All right. Before we move on to our final topic of the night, we are going to take a quick break. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. Right here on the Sports Report.
I'm going to pull Stephen Weaver.
For all things baseball, don't miss the Winter Meetings podcast Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/the Sports Report podcast. And again, Tuesday mornings on West Coast Radio at 11 a.m. Eastern. Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Warner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out. It's time for more dick, more snacks, and more basketball talk on the hardwood. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, you can catch them live on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast. Join them as they break down the hottest topics of the week in the NBA, along with the age-old argument on LeBron versus Jordan. This ain't one of Shaq's free throws. Don't miss it. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday. Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Warner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark. And welcome back. Seven and Dan the Dick Warner here with the Sports Report After Dark. We've been going for about an hour and a half right now. Actually got to break in, trying to see if we can keep it under 3 hours this time. We definitely will, because Martha is over here. We're actually coming up on our last topic, though, so I think it's going to be pretty easy, too.
She's slowly creeping up on you. She's just, like, getting closer and closer. I can see her reflection now, I feel like. Her shadow. She's right there. She's right there.
Pitcher formerly for the Padres, now for the Chicago White Sox, Mike Clevenger is under investigation for allegedly violating Major League Baseball's domestic violence policy. Clevenger, this investigation has been going on for a minute. Started while he was still a member of the Padres. He is under investigation for domestic violence claims against his and child abuse claims against his children, his 3 children, and their mother, including allegations of things that are just absolutely disgusting, like dumping chew spit on his infant child.
Good God.
Yeah.
He is the perfect example of somebody who you would actually never guess. That dude looks like a fucking 16-year-old in a fucking emo band, rock band. Doesn't he? He still got the long hair and shit, right?
Yeah, and
I'm gonna look up a picture of him recently. What happened to you, Mike Clevenger? He pushed the White Sox.
And yeah, he signed with the White Sox earlier in the offseason. And
God.
In the response from me, and I was trying to make sure I was reading everything correctly here with the response from his attorney, but of course his attorney is denying the allegations and saying that he never, that Mike Clevenger never abused her, but actually that he in the statement makes allegations that she was abusive towards him. And so this is a pretty heavy situation, man.
When so many different things are at play, including millions of dollars, and you know what I'm saying, like, and somebody's reputation, and possibly it's a lot of money. I mean, honestly, like Mike Clevenger used to pay a lot of money, right? I don't think you mentioned his salary. I bet
no,
it's
I can't remember what the deal was. But I mean, he's 7 years in now. So yeah, he's been around for a minute. He's probably making over $1 million a year, I would think.
Oh, dude, he's making 10 to 15. Mike Clevenger?
Probably. Yeah.
10 to 15 a year. So like, you know, like it's just a lot of money. And I'm not saying he didn't do it because obviously, like, does this stuff come out of
it's 12 million is what he's gonna make this year.
There you go. So like I hate to, it just sounds like something out of left field, but at the same time, like it could be something out of left field. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have enough of that information at this point. Like maybe she was just like you could actually, you know, pull it off and make it look like Mike Clevenger's a piece of shit if you were mad enough at Mike Clevenger, right?
Well, I mean but that's the thing is she's the one that was abusing him, and she's trying to flip this around. And the statements from his attorney are correct, and that she was the one that was abusing him. And it's well documented that she was doing this. Like she's trying to get him back because she doesn't have anything else she can do.
And in that case, Mike Clevenger still fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how this turns out, either Mike Clevenger is a fucking complete and total piece of shit, or Mike Clevenger definitely fucked up. That's about his only two, you know, that's the high and the low of it. Because obviously he was allowing this shit to he allowed this obviously to go too far at some point, right? I mean,
yeah,
at the very least, right? So like, but he probably, I mean, if he did any of this shit, you know, we'll probably take like 20 minutes out of our night on a Thursday just to fucking just bash on him. That'll be an entertaining 20 minutes.
You think it'll only do 20 minutes?
Probably. I mean, we can get a lot in. We can get a lot in 20 minutes. I can get an insult in 30 seconds. You know, we can, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have enough information on this. So it's there. He's just still being investigated. There's been no charges filed.
I don't see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in anything that's being mentioned.
I'm looking at pictures.
I'm not seeing anything that says that there's anything that's ever been filed as far as charges. Like even in the ESPN article that I'm looking at right now, there's nothing that mentions that he's ever been charged with anything. And so that raises questions. Again, it doesn't mean that he hasn't done anything, but it doesn't, especially when it comes to domestic violence cases, the burden for charging is pretty fucking low.
Bro, have you seen these pictures of her like, I think it's Instagram. Yeah. Her Instagram posts. Oh boy. Can I show these on here? Is it Instagram?
I mean, it's not against the rules. If it's on Instagram, okay. Chances are that, I mean, cool. Yeah, why not?
Okay, sweet. Well, yeah, but these are, I mean, it's just literally like the one is clearly, and the reason I want to show you is because the one is clearly, it looks like she was cutting herself. So she, basically what it is like, I'll just explain it because I'm not going to do it over here. I just don't want to take any chances, Tony. No, but basically all it is like, it's pictures of her like look to be injuries that could be from domestic dispute. The first one says, from when he threw an iPad at me pregnant. And it's like a picture of like her stomach. And it looks like maybe it's, I don't know. It looks like scrapes and kind of like maybe some like bruising. And then the other one though is the interesting one. It's literally her with her wrist out like this. And she says something about how he obviously, oh shit. But yeah, it looks like she's like when someone would cut themselves, right? Because it's literally like 3 lines across, right? It's not actually like an actual injury from something. It's like clearly like somebody like cut her. Right. And I don't know if she actually said in her Instagram, like maybe that she was doing it to herself or not, but like, it looks like does that make sense? But like, that's the interesting one is because like, birth certificate, I'm not kidding. Kid's mother has been cheated on thousands of times, even with them under the same roof, pregnant and not pregnant. He's truly an evil person. Yeah, she basically kind of infers that she did it to herself because of him. That's one of them. It's a longer, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's a longer Instagram thing, but yeah, it doesn't look, I mean, clearly at this point, like I said, at the very least, Mike Clevenger fucked up by, he wasn't a fucking saint in this. I would guarantee that. Does that make sense?
It doesn't. I mean, and that's the thing is like, you know, a lot of times with these allegations, especially when something is, you know, when both sides are guilty, there's still some truth to some of these things. And so that's, you know, and that's the sad part is it means that this was probably a very toxic relationship on both sides. It doesn't excuse any of the behavior that either one of them did,
right.
But when you're in a toxic relationship, toxic behavior becomes commonplace. And it's
amen.
And when you get out of it, unfortunately, a lot of times what happens is one of you gets better and one of you gets bitter.
Right. And then it becomes just a straight smear campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that is possible. And like, I hope that's not true. You know, like, I hope that Mike Clevenger never did that, but fuck, you know, who knows? And I take back the thing about him looking like a choir boy, actually. He's just a little rough. He's kind of rough looking. Got that stash going. He looks like he could fucking chew spit for sure. Like he definitely fucking chews tobacco.
He chews.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. He looks like the guy that you would meet at a NASCAR event. That's
he has an opinion on who's better, Dale or Jimmy Johnson.
And he'll speak to you with great detail.
And he can probably cite statistics in laps and miles per hour, average miles per hour in races. He can identify a raceway by the smell.
Yeah. You let him smell the track and you let him smell the stands, and he can fucking tell you if it's fucking Talladega or Speedmont.
Daytona.
It's like that's Speedmont. It's like bottom left curve.
That's PIR out in the RV area. Come on, give me a hard one.
He's got a walkie for no reason. He's just talking to other dudes in the infield. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ.
He's one of those that he takes a radio scanner, but he actually ends up talking to the drivers like, no, you dumb shit, don't go down that low.
He's busting in other signals. He's just trying to get the signal the whole time. That's all he's doing during the race. He's just trying to get their fucking different drivers. I'm gonna fuck Bubba Wallace up. 76% of the crowd goes after Bubba Wallace. We're not going to say anything further on it. You guys can probably guess, though. That's terrible, dude.
Oh, but probably true.
100% that's true. I'll take the heat for it. That's 100% true.
But what's interesting is like, have you actually watched footage of Bubba Wallace drive? Like he's not not a bad driver. He's great.
They wouldn't hate him so much if he wasn't good at it, Tony. If he just sucked and got killed all the time, people would be like, "Oh."
It's honestly, there's times where it kind of looks like it reminds me of Tiger Woods going into golf, like the way that some people respond about it. It's a really good point, really good comparison. Yeah, because I mean that's basically what it is. Like on like a different set of people in the United States, though. You know what I'm saying? Like in America, a whole different set of people, but like somebody who's that, kind of that far out of the just what generally happens in that sport. Yes, exactly like Tiger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the country club crowd versus the, I'm from Nebraska, the redneck crowd. The redneck crowd is usually the NASCAR fans, if nobody's noticed. Right.
Like that's usually who it is, and that's usually who does the sport. You know what I'm saying? Mostly. So just, yeah, they look at it. And then, well, the big thing with him was that the whole noose thing. You remember that? So the whole noose thing, if anybody doesn't know, he basically, his crew member or something thought that there was a fucking like noose hanging above their garage door. Right? You remember this? Okay, so they thought it was above his garage door, and I think they ended up finding out it was just like a fucking like somebody just literally, I think it was like one of his team or something. Like, no, actually,
what that was with that Bubba Wallace thing is the last time there was an event there that was just tied the way that it was. It had been like that for a while. It wasn't meant anything. Somebody just did it. It wasn't a noose. It was like a regular hit. It was some kind of regular hitch or something that was relatively common. And it was not anything that was meant to be. But here's the thing. you have to understand that they have a reason for being that jumpy.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the thing that's rough about it, is because there are people that harass him because of the color of his skin in a white man's sport, if you will.
I think that we are vastly underestimating how much Bubba Wallace and his team probably heard and comments were directed towards them, like at a regular, you know what I'm saying? Like how many races do they go to? How many fucking people are there? 100,000 people fucking go to those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, yeah, he was by a smaller, I'm not going to, 76% is ridiculous, but like by a smaller majority of those crowds, like, yes, he probably got like at least shunned. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if people were out, but like, and he definitely heard some shit. Let's just say that. The N-word was thrown around.
I mean, he heard the N-word like you hear it when you're going to a Celtics game.
Basically, yes. Like, no shame in it. And they're probably walking away while they're saying it. But, like, that's definitely still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're making sure that he hears it and shit like that. So, like, we don't know how much he heard, because I guarantee it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they have an absolute reason to think that that's probably something, especially when it's, like, kind of just in a weird spot, like, right above the fucking garage. And it's like, I get it. I totally get it. And it's probably just somebody, honestly, probably just trying to use it to fucking, you know, so they could pull it down with something, hook something onto it. Obviously, it was like a circle. But it just looks bad. That's a series of unfortunate events.
It is. And that's the thing is what frustrates me is that as developed as we are as a human race, we still have to be concerned that something like that can happen, that something like that can be done intentionally as a, you know, a symbol of hate towards someone of a certain race.
Absolutely.
You know, have you ever watched that movie Zootopia?
No.
Watch it.
What's it on? Just
it's, I can't
DVD?
remember. Yeah, I mean it's a regular, I want to say, I'm pretty sure, is it a Disney movie?
Really?
Yeah, it is a Disney movie, so chances are it's probably on Disney Plus. Hold on. Yeah, it is on Disney Plus. And
you don't mean the one with Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller, right? I'm just kidding. Zoolander. Oh boy,
that took me a second. And it shouldn't, because I love the movie Zoolander. That's a great movie too.
Blue Steel.
But I think that Zootopia does an amazing job at presenting racism in a very interesting light, but using it in a more kid-friendly way to stimulate the discussion.
Okay, interesting. Zootopia.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Like, I'll say it like this: Zootopia is to discussions about race as Inside Out is a movie that is great to use to discuss mental health.
Interesting. I've never seen Inside
Out. Oh, dude, you should definitely watch that movie.
Okay.
You should absolutely 100%. You should watch that movie. I think that is Pixar's best movie, in my opinion.
Make sure when we're both rewatching this to make a note of that, so I remember. For sure.
I'll message you later to remind you, because it is an absolutely stellar flick.
I didn't know if you know this, but I actually use, on the racism thing, like, I actually use one of your examples all the time. I've used it on a couple of different shows. And I actually say this, like, Tony thinks that, and because I think it's such a good example. Like, you basically talked about how fucking racism now is not the old overt stuff, and people, you know, like doing physically bad. It still happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but like most of it now is not like physically overt actions and like saying things and like, you know, like being like overt about it, being out loud about it. It's where you're at a party with all white guys, or, you know, it's a bunch of white guys, and they look around their shoulder before they say the black joke. That's racism now. It's almost like it's like a secret, like the fucking South will rise again, the Klan will rise. Like that's kind of their thing, and I think that's a lot of what it's from. But like,
because I think I stand by that. I think that racism is more about what happens in quiet conversation than it does overtly, because now overtly so many people are on the complete opposite of the spectrum, where people are getting accused of saying things that are racist that aren't.
Yes.
That, because you used to be able, you could just say, oh, these people are coming over and taking our jobs. That used to be just such a common topic that it wasn't surprised to hear it in public. But now if you say something like that, you get in trouble. Like you're and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but there is a lot more public accountability in that regard to those type of things. So more often than not now, it's everybody's sitting around drinking a beer. You know what my black neighbors did?
Yes. Or like you said, black jokes.
Or black jokes, or whatever. It's and you get those people that live in a more sheltered situation because they are more conspiracy theory driven. You get like what happened to that one guy that was just running through a neighborhood and checked out a house that was under construction, ended up getting shot by a father and son who are now in jail for killing this guy. And they tried to justify the actions and them attacking him is because there had been break-ins in the neighborhood that week and he wouldn't identify himself. They weren't cops. He didn't have to.
Right. Absolutely not. And yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
But it's because and that's why I think that Zootopia is a great thing, because racism is motivated, hate and racism are motivated by fear. The fear of misinformation, a fear that's driven by emotional based thinking and taking rational thinking out of it, because a rational person doesn't hate somebody because of their race. They hate somebody because of their football team or their baseball team, like a normal human being. Whereas irrational people that have allowed themselves to get consumed by the moment, by the situation, or by misinformation, start to believe these things that just simply aren't true. Like when Tony Dungy a week or two ago shared a tweet that was basically about this whole misinformation thing where schools were putting in cat boxes for kids that identify as a cat. It's not happening. It's fake. If you believe it, it's already been debunked multiple times in multiple different ways. It's not happening. If you see something that's saying it's happening, it's fake. It's not happening. Schools aren't going to do that.
No,
there's no actual reasonable reason to do that.
They're not going to go that far with it, for sure.
You can't even get schools to put in trans bathrooms. You think they're going to put in a fucking cat box for some kid who wants to say they identify as a cat? Come the fuck on.
No, not happening. The PR would be bad enough it's on its own. Let alone the actual issues that are created within the school, right? The PR itself is a fucking nightmare. Just would be a fucking nightmare. Let alone the damage it's going to do to somebody. Somebody's getting emotionally damaged from a cat box being around you and a human being going in it, right? Something's getting damaged.
Yeah, that would be pretty emotionally damning.
Yeah, you don't think weird stuff's so weird anymore.
If I walk into, because you imagine we're in high school, we walk into the boys' room to go take a leak between classes. Some weird kid squatting over a cat box trying to take a dump.
I'm going to tell you the God honest truth, Tony. We would have beat the shit out of him. We would have. I'm kidding. No, for real, probably.
Okay. I would have just left because I don't go to confrontation like that. But I can tell you, I know for a fact somebody's going to beat the shit out of that kid because they just can't handle it.
Yes.
It's such a foreign concept that it triggers the fight or flight part of their brain, and they just beat the crap out of the kid.
It's so mind-bogglingly confusing, right? Mm-hmm. That it would almost have to. And I'm not saying today's me would have done that, but Tony, you've never met 16-year-old Dan. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's might have. Again, I don't know.
16-year-old, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, in what we were talking about earlier. You show me somebody that's 18 to 25, regardless of their gender, you're going to show me somebody that's fucking stupid. You think somebody that's 16 is not also absolutely fucking stupid? It's been proven. It's been
stupider, Tony.
It's stupider, exactly. It's been proven that individuals at that age don't have the full capacity for empathy yet and understanding. Of course they're fucking stupid.
I think we've talked about it before, actually, where that dude talks about how 18 to 21-year-old males are the most dangerous thing on planet Earth. He says statistically, they're the most dangerous thing on planet Earth because they have adult male strength and the mind of a child. Mm-hmm. So like they can do things with their physical body that they shouldn't be able to do. They have too much power for how much like power they have over that power. Like they have no, it's just a fucking
right. And what's even more
apes.
is absolutely. Well, and ADHD is so commonly is such a, yes, it's a commonly diagnosed thing, but it's also very commonly missed. It's missed more in females than it is in males. But one of the common traits with men with ADHD is they don't know their own strength. Like there's so many times where I have accidentally, when like messing around with Martha or with Michael, I've hurt them because I didn't realize my own strength. Like I don't realize how strong I am until all of a sudden, oops, I hurt somebody. Because I've done that before. Like, and I feel like shit every time it happens.
Right. And it can just be like a split second thing where you're like, oh, you're trying to do anything, grab something, catch something. And it's like, you're overboard doing it. Like,
right.
Yes. And especially you're doing it without thinking, which makes you stronger. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if we could not think and squat something, like not thinking about squatting 650 pounds, we could probably squat more because we're not, like it's just reactionary. Like basically it's just survival at that point. Like I always say, like I've ran from the cops before on foot, and you don't know how fast you are until you feel like you have to run. The fastest I have ever ran in my entire life is from a police officer. He was behind me with a flashlight and yelling. And it's the fastest I've ever been.
Think about what Patrick Mahomes said. Is like, if they'd had somebody chasing me when I was running my 40, I would have gotten a faster time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he had to. Got away from that cop, Tony. Got away from them. There was like 4 of them. How does one individual outrun 4 other people when he has to? when they feel like they have to. And like, yeah. I mean, but 18 to 21-year-olds though are apes. I was one. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I know. Like they exist. All my friends were them too. Yeah,
but
a bunch of apes.
But like I said, hate and racism is just it's more often than not, it's not overt anymore because it can't be. It has definitely been made such a faux pas that it can't be as overt as it used to be, unless it's like a terrorist attack or something like that. More, which even those are seriously uncommon, thankfully.
It's like black ops tribalism, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But when you look at it now, it's more commonly the memes that are shared behind, in private group chats, because Facebook algorithms look for those motherfuckers now, so you can't share them in a private group anymore. It's got to be in group chat,
right? So like, Tony, how much? I have a question for you. How much do you think that this is related to the fact, like, this is crazy, and this, but bear with me. Sports a lot. Okay, sports are very prominent now as far as especially young men, right, in the United States. Teams wear different colors when they're opposing teams, right? You beat the other team, they wear different colors. How much do you think that is actually in the psyche of a lot of young men and women? Like they're thinking like, because they're a different color, they're actually the opposition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm of this color, so I'm on this team, right? And do you think that's built in at all? I mean, I'm not saying sports, but I'm saying like competition, like the human need, and this has been like kind of psychologically proven.
I think there's a tribal, I'm like tribalistic effect to it, because like, and again, this is not something that's meant to be racist, but like black people flock to black people. If like, and I've seen it, like the bar that I go to karaoke at, if there's a chick that she's kind of in and out of hanging out with the group that I go there with. Her name is Shy, and she's tiny little black chick, one of the sweetest chicks you've ever met. Former recording artist, really cool. And when black people come into the bar,
I'd like to meet her.
They've never been there. They'll go up and talk to her, like, "Hey, is this place cool?" Then they realize that the biker club rolls in, and all of a sudden there's 30 black people, with most of them being 6 foot plus black guys. And it's like, oh yeah. It's the safest building in the fucking neighborhood.
Yes. Yes. I would rather hang out here than a fucking sheriff's office for fucking 100%. If they're cool with me, I'm hanging out here. I'll be good, guys. You guys take care of it.
The bar that I go to, is in a very bad part of Phoenix. And I'm talking, it is a bad part of Phoenix. There is, like, if you look up this neighborhood on Crime Spot, it's just a bunch of dots. You can't see shit.
First criteria for great bar, Tony. Checked. Good. Go ahead. First criteria for great bar.
But I've been going to that bar. So we moved back here in 2017. So November of 2017 was the first time I went to that bar. In 5 years, there is one time where there was a major event, and it was in the parking lot next door because a bunch of tweakers were fighting, and as they were going down the street in front of the bar, it didn't even start in or around. It wasn't people that were in the bar. It just went by the bar basically, and then finally one of them tornado. Pretty much one of them shot at another one. But that's when I realized that half of those guys were carrying. Because all of a sudden it was shut the doors, and I was like, oh, why are there 9, 10, 15? There are supposed to be this many guns at a bar.
How many weapons is there here?
Nobody was concerned. Everybody was
somebody hands you a gun. They're like, here you go, Tone. Like, oh, okay. What are we doing? Just shoot at anything that anybody else is shooting at. Good talk. That's the safest place.
We went back to doing karaoke while they were all sitting there just waiting in case somebody tried to come in the door that had nefarious intentions, I guess, as you'll say. This is like I said, it's the safest building in the area. It was great.
And nobody wants to fight really, and those guys, if they do, those guys fucking settle it real quick. It's settled and it's out the back door. It's like there's no
you don't play that game in that bar. You
don't get warnings.
Nope.
Yeah, there's no warnings. Like, get the fuck, like, you know better. And if you know better and you still do it, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's seriously, if you know better and still do it, get the fuck out of here. I mean, that's the best way to handle it. Because, like, if you can't fucking be around other people drunk and not just be getting into fights constantly, like, you're a fucking moron. And B, like, you need some serious, like, probably help. Because, like, that's
exactly. That's some anger issues. You need to spend some time in therapy, maybe get on some meds for a while to get yourself level and get control again. Like, there's a lot at play there.
And we both know people like that, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly men, but there is some women. Mostly men, though. Usually, right? Younger men.
It's the and honestly, I think that if they were to do an actual neurological study on these men like that, I think that they would find that their testosterone is not consistent.
It's up and down.
It's like this, because that's what causes that. It's just like if men, that's why, because for women, when they're on their period, one of the things that causes the emotional behavior is because their
serotonin and all that stuff.
The woman chemical. Say it again, honey. Hormones. Their hormones that starts with the estrogen. That's it. That's what's fucking looking.
I couldn't think of it either, Martha.
I couldn't think of it either. Their estrogen is going like this, and that's why teenage girls have a hard time controlling their emotions. That's why they're more emotional individuals, is because their estrogen's going like this, and they're still learning how to handle those swings.
That's that yin and yang shit that we kind of talk about all the time without knowing we're doing it. But like the ups, so the highs are so high that the lows have to, because everything is on a balance. Everything is back and forth. Everything is on a balance. So like if you go that fucking high, you better goddamn expect you're going to fucking go the opposite direction at some point, and it's going to get that low. Okay. So like, and if you live like some people live at a high level, you're going to constantly be having low levels. And
I saw something the other day. I shared it on my page for my other podcast, First Generation Dad. And it says it's basically that, because we all think about, because for those of us that have mental health issues, emotional control is one of those difficult pieces. And so, we talk about how it's on like an up and down thing, like a heart monitor. And, there's this guy who's talking to his therapist about it. He's like, I really wish I could just control that and close the gap. Well, yeah, if you do that with a heart monitor, you're flatlining, you're dead.
I saw that.
And it's like, because I understood the concept. You have to, because of course you have to get the highs with the lows. Like that's how it works. It's balance. It's, scientifically, you think about what's that scientific, I can't remember what it's called. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Newton's second law of physics.
There you go. And so, I think it's one of them. Yeah.
It is Newton's law of physics, but it's like I can't remember which one. I think it's first or second one. Sorry.
And it will be, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I really think that if you could find a way, like for people with anger issues, and there are times where I wonder if, like, sometimes in women it's not because of too much of a boost in testosterone, because we have estrogen that goes through our body, they have testosterone that goes through theirs, but the difference is the levels. So if you know, I wonder if there's ever been research into if those type of levels for people like that struggle with anger issues are monitored to see if maybe there needs to be a regulation of those things. Because I know, like, estrogen hormones and testosterone supplements are a thing, but is there a way to use those to regulate the levels of the appropriate hormone to help that person have more emotional control, so that you're focusing on a specific hormonal level, because that's what's causing the fluctuations. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think almost, you're spot on. I think they do that, dude. But I think it's like, what they do is so it's like 70-30. It's not that much of a difference as far as like we're like 70% testosterone, 30% whatever. So like, I think all they're doing is they're just giving you like a supplement or whatever it is, maybe a pill. I don't really know. But like, it's just the opposite. It's the opposite formula. So it's like 70% estrogen, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they're giving you those kind of injections. So it's not like too big of a shock to your system, I think is what it is. But yeah, they'll just give you like, just reverse the fucking percentages on them and then give you that and try and like even it out. Like, like it
is the second law. You were right.
Bam.
Thank you, the movement. I appreciate that.
Coming through in the clutch.
And Joel, other podcast, First Generation Dad. We're going to bring that back in the spring. Will and I are already kind of working behind the scenes on that one. I actually got a Facebook group open for that today. We're going to see that. I'm going to start doing more content on that as it gets ready.
We'll see that really good, soon. Joel. It's really good. I've seen some episodes. I'm a regular watcher.
Thank you, Joel. We appreciate the super sticker. And so the movement said they are the main brain hormones that control emotions. So that's the thing. And that's what I think, because if you're gonna, regulate those things, and I wonder the effectiveness of that. Cause like for me, like with my managing my bipolar, I take lithium. You and I have talked about this individually. And for the ADHD, I take old school Ritalin, because it's the only thing that works for me.
Right.
And so, that's more, it's an amphetamine, basically. It's a synthetic amphetamine. So, and we've talked about the similarities with meth on that one, which I think is interesting.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
so my question would be, are those items supplementing, are those the ones that are regulating those hormones, or would it be more effective to create a medicine that specifically regulates those specific hormones to allow for more emotional control?
Right. I think you're 100% spot on with, doing the specific, estrogen and testosterone, like on some kind of like regimen to try and like very slowly, because I don't think you can do it. You definitely can't do it like quickly. Like it's got to be a thing, obviously.
Right.
Your body,
it's gradual. Yeah.
Because you'll just go fucking insane for like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it gets too choppy, that's not good either, like, so if you're trying to help and you make it too like up and down, then that's not a good idea.
You have to ease a person into it, just like if they're going to be coming off of a medication, you have to wean them off of it.
For both sides, I would recommend exercise, obviously, like get that energy.
Yeah, that lactic acid, getting that lactic acid into your brain is fucking huge. Absolutely.
Working your muscles. Huge. You know what I'm talking about? Like working your muscles, like I don't give like Rogan's always like, after I work out, I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm like, yes, I get that. Like dude, just getting the energy out of your body.
Do you remember when I posted that video right after I'd actually completely ran a mile? When I had started working out a couple of years ago. Do you remember that?
No. Were you happy?
So yeah, I was, because of like the different physical issues and asthma and stuff like that. I'd never actually run a mile without stopping.
Right.
And so I I did it at a slow pace. It was, I think I ran it like just like 12 and a half or 15, whatever it ended up being. Like,
that's not bad.
Fast, but I
ran the whole time.
I ran the whole fucking time.
That's
the whole time without stopping. And I remember that night was one of the few times I've ever gotten to sleep in less than half an hour.
Like a fucking baby.
Oh, I slept like a baby.
Fucking baby, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like Tyler Durden's fucking. It's like Tyler Durden when he cries. That's like what you're describing, like where he can just sleep, just takes all the. Go ahead.
So movement, balancing of dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin is the key to mental health, and that's what these different medicines do. Is sometimes it's generating synthetic, like there's some of them like it's helping your receptors actually receive the dopamine, because like with ADHD, dopamine is a big thing. Like you're constantly on that quest for dopamine. That's why you'll get hyper focused, or you'll get in on one task and you'll get bored with it, move on to something else, and you have all these things going, but you can't finish them because the dopamine's not there. And the different medicines are ways of regulating those different chemicals in your brain to help stabilize you
and getting your cilia in your brain to like pick up those chemicals. I thought that was super interesting. Hey, thanks Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
You're awesome, bro.
Call me tomorrow.
He was just using sarcasm at the very beginning of that. Like a G, like just a straight sarcasm emoji.
He's such a good guy. I
love sarcasm.
Kids. I used to smoke a lot of weed with that guy.
Quite a bit of swearing there, Tone. It's quite a bit of swearing on this show. Tell you what.
There is a lot of
I don't swear at all. I don't swear. I don't ever swear. That's fucking funny, dude. That's
I disagree with your assessment of the way you talk.
Right?
Respectfully.
Thanks for watching the show, but you're a fucking liar. You fucking liar. You're a liar and a cheat.
And a cheat.
And
He's a phony. A big fat phony.
He's a big fat phony. Hey, everybody, it's Peter Griffin. He's a big fat phony.
Did you see the episode where his kid was in the class with Stewie? And he's like, "Oh, I think we know who this guy's dad is."
Yes, that's a phony. It's like, oh god.
I know who that guy's dad is.
They beat that joke so to death that they stopped doing it. Like they were like, "Nah, I think this is the end," which they never do.
And then they would never do. And then every once in a while, it just pops back up when you least expect it. Like every other season, there it is.
And it's like a gym now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's like oh, dude, the episode of Family Guy tonight had fucking it's a phony in it. Like that's like a fucking marker. That's genius. That's fucking genius writing, by the way. Like dude, that's their strategy.
I honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why I like Letterkenny so much is because there are some certain feels, there are certain jokes and different things that just all of a sudden they pop up and you're just like, oh.
It's almost like it becomes a classic to you. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like Letterkenny is like almost like a classic joke, and then like when they bring it back, it's like, oh, they fucking brought that shit back. Like it's just and it's so good.
There are so many in that show that are just interwoven, or it's just like it's like there's so many of them that are just weaved in together that have been set up over the years from different episodes, where you're just like, oh. God damn it.
I promise you, Tony. I promise you I'm going to start watching it.
You have to start watching that show.
I'll watch the first episode of it within the next 7 days. I'll tell you about it next Thursday.
Watch the first two episodes because they're like 25 minutes a piece. Get through the first two
I can
episodes.
Do that. I can do it.
But it's good. It's good.
I mean, I trust you. I've seen clips of it and I'm like, this fucking shit is right down my alley.
And the other one is there's a spin-off show from it called Shoresy that's very hockey based because like they touch on hockey a little bit in Letterkenny, like it's kind of there sometimes, but Shoresy is completely hockey based and it's so good. It's just so damn good. You'll really like it. I honestly I feel like you're gonna like Shoresy more than you do Letterkenny, but you'll like Letterkenny once you catch on the way that they do everything. You're gonna like it.
Oh yeah, I absolutely guarantee that I am. That I will. It's like live action kind of styled like Family Guy, right? I mean, it's like a lot of like very. There's obviously not flashbacks and shit, but like it's very like humor wise. Humor wise, like there's a lot of different rhythms to it, but like there's the Canadian edge to the humor, so it is a little drier in a sense, but it's still a good rhythm. So like what was the guy who wrote Seinfeld? Larry David. Larry David's show. It was Curb Your Enthusiasm, which one is
that was so good.
It's the greatest fucking show name, by the way. Show name already genius. Fucking show name already ingenious, but like that guy's a fucking G, dude. He's so fucking funny, and that's some dry Canadian type shit. Like that's kind of the same level. Like and you get like they tip their hat to Trailer Park Boys
in the show a couple of different ways. First of all, because the guy that plays J-Rock plays Noah Dick.
Right.
And does so with absolute fucking perfection.
That is super good.
Jonathan Torrens is such a good actor. Like, he does not get enough credit for what he does.
Dude, he got fucking paid too. He's on a fucking Expedia commercial or something. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
He's on okay, so he got fucking paid too. Like, he's already getting paid for that, but like, you know,
he should, and he deserves it. Like,
good for him.
And that's the thing, is there's one of the things, for those of you that haven't watched Letterkenny, they're still watching us live. One of the things that Letterkenny is praised for is the way that they represent native individuals. Like, and up there, you might think of it as like Eskimo, but that's still a dumb term. Like, they're just Native Americans, or Native Indians,
just in Canada,
whatever you want to call them, in Canada.
Yeah,
and they represent them accurately. They use actual Native people to play them. Like, they have individuals. They touch on the way that some people look at light-skinned natives versus people that are, their skin is more true to the color of the tribe. And they still represent extremely well, and you don't see actual Native representation done correctly very often. And I think it's one of the things that I like most about it, is that they do it correctly.
Absolutely. I think the proper nomenclature would probably be
Inuit, like Native Inuit, I think would be up there.
Maybe it should be Native Canadian, I think. Right?
Native Canadian,
Native Americans, Native Americans, Native Canadian. Anyway, those guys were probably the tougher ones, weren't they? Like, our fucking Native Americans down here were pretty tough guys, and they're out there doing the same shit. But it's like negative 10 degrees all day long.
Snow 9 months out of the year.
Fuck that. Like, fuck that. And in some kind of like thing that you made out of like an animal, I'm good.
Because I mean, you get far enough north, you're going significant amount of time without daylight.
Just walking for like 8 hours across that, like, dude, we would die. We
would die.
We're sitting down within an hour and a half. Can't feel our fingers or our toes. Can't feel them. We'd be like, I can't feel anything. I'm done, dude. I gotta tap out. Like, yeah, they're just doing that 8 hours a day, every day. You get next to a fire and that's it. Like, fuck that. But anyway, yeah.
Anyway, okay.
The Native Canadians, bad motherfuckers.
Bad motherfuckers. But yeah, that's a great thing the Letterkenny does. Okay. All right. So before we wrap up, anything on your mind?
I decided when I was outside pulling a Stephen Weaver, I was gonna bring the laptop with me and just start the show just back on the laptop, but I was looking at the backyard of my house. Stephen, count it. His beer store right here.
He's always with us.
His beer's back here. Make sure this isn't.
There you go.
Yeah, it's it's right there. Still back behind the thing. Like, that can's gonna stay like that until one day it just like busts open, like, it goes all over the place, and it's just an empty can with some of the bottom. It smells terrible. No, but looking at the backyard, Tony, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on doing a fucking mini golf course back there. Just doing all fucking turf on it, right? And making a mini golf course.
How much space you got back there?
It's like, I don't know, it's probably like an acre total. It's a lot. It's like, this house is on 4 lots.
Make a BMX course, man.
That's possible. And well, yeah, because that's how I look at it. Because there's 2 trees in the middle of it, right? And then everything around the outside has a fence now, wooden privacy fence. But it's like a big area with like 2 trees right in the middle of it. So you could make like a track or something. And I was thinking mini golf course immediately, because like, you just go down, right? And you go sideways and you go the other way and you come back to the first hole, right? And I was like, yeah, just do all turf throughout it. Take all the fucking grass out, turf, set up, have little fucking signs and stuff, right?
Could you do a frisbee golf? No, that probably wouldn't be enough for a frisbee golf.
It'd be a par 3 frisbee golf course, but still, yeah, you just put some nets up. You literally just have like retractable nets that you can just lay down. Probably wouldn't be that hard to build. And you just put some nets up real high, so you got about 12 feet of clearance, so nobody fucking chucks the ball at your neighbor's house, because you don't want that happening.
Right.
Because somebody's gonna do that. Like, Alicia's gonna play, so she's probably terrible at golf. I've never seen her golf before, but she's fucking terrible. I'm just off the top. She's sitting right here. I bet she is fucking terrible. Like, I'm probably gonna have like a little bit of like a problem not laughing the first time that I see her play mini golf. But like,
Thank God I hit testicles and not golf balls. You fucking dick.
That was her.
Yeah.
She's really a sweetheart, guys. No, but like, I bet she's not good at golf at all. So like that'll be fun. We got to put the nets up though, because she's the first person that's gonna hit it over the fence. Like,
no,
yeah,
I'm not good.
we'll do by progress. We'll do by progress. You know, but that's it for me.
Yeah, he ain't coming back. He gonna be dead after that.
Going to bed. So gangster. We should getting mad over here.
Yeah. Well, you know what you did.
What you did. I do.
There is I don't know, man. I hope Kansas City wins on Sunday.
You got
really sad if they don't.
When are you don't know when you're restarting
well, sometime in the spring.
First generation dads?
I'm gonna get winter meetings up and going first and get used to that again. And then I gotta figure out with Will when we're gonna run first generation dad, because I think we're gonna run videos and stuff, but I think we're just gonna record it because I just don't have time to do all of that multiple evenings a week. I'm already gonna have 3 a week going live in the evenings once winter meeting comes back. So I think that we're gonna record that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe like if you're okay with it, maybe I can come in and be the Yankees correspondent at some points. Thinking maybe for like 10 minutes and I act like I'm at like Yankee Stadium, like in the locker room.
We'll get you a green screen so you got a background.
Yes, like at the lockers. Like I'm like in the locker room.
We don't really talk a lot of sports stuff on that show. Like it really doesn't come up all that much.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about first year. I'm sorry. You said something about winter meetings getting restarted, and I thought you were talking
winter
about
meetings. Winter meetings, yes. We're probably, especially with the fact that we lost Stefan, I will probably have you come in from time to time to give us a third person. So yeah, you'll be in.
I'll be the Yankees correspondent. You know, we'll do the suit and everything where you just wear shorts underneath, because the camera can't see that you're not wearing a suit pants.
Yeah.
And you just do the little clip-on tie like they do. Like I bet fucking Adam Schefter, dude, carries a fucking half suit in his briefcase.
How does he not? I mean, you have to. That's got to be like, the president has the nuclear football with him. Adam Schefter has 2 cell phones and a suit at all times with him.
He probably just wears a collared shirt, right? Every day to work. And then all he has to do is just clip the tie on, fucking put the suit jacket on. From the waist up, he's in a suit, right? Bam. Because who knows what Adam Schefter's doing? I mean, what does that guy even do? A lot of Adderall, probably. Definitely a lot of Adderall.
He gets a lot. He spends a lot of time texting.
He has like 3 different phones.
He's got to have at least 2. With all, especially because can you imagine? Because like especially leading up to draft day, and during like trade deadline. With all of the information that Adam Schefter is charged with, there's no way he doesn't have 2 cell phones. Like there's an AFC phone and an NFC phone at least.
It has to not just be him either, right? He has somebody that works for him.
He's got interns. I mean, obviously he's got interns.
Yeah, like the fucking like vanilla stuff that he can just like, what I would say, right? What I would say, like text that back. Like that's probably had going on. So if you ever did get in the situation where you were texting Adam Schefter, you don't really know if it's Adam Schefter or not, everybody, just in case you're ever in that position. Because, I mean, Tony's pretty close, I think. I think Tony's got enough connections now that he's probably, like, what are you, like a cousin away from, like...
I you know what? He knows I exist. I'm like right there. He watches the show every once in a while. We're going to be besties. We're going to be besties at some point. Just as soon as he can remember my name.
Sounds like you're a fake cousin named Dan Schefter away from... getting that job. Yeah, I mean,
I'll be the fake cousin Dan Schefter that makes shit up to kind of help him out. I don't mind whatever role he needs me to play, just so we can get to the point where he and I are best friends, and that's what matters. We just start
breaking into Adam Schefter's like family's Facebook accounts and like messaging from him, like, "Mom, why do you want to know about the Dolphins? Like, just tell me about the Dolphins." This is my mom. Somebody broke into her account, I think. We're just being malicious about it. Like he just wants to know Adam Schefter. It's just a thing. Like we need the lowdown. This guy knows everything. Fucking knows everything. Do you think he does voice to text, Tony, or text just like normal text? how's he get that much information out? You know what I'm saying?
I would say he has to text, because even if, you could have somebody walking by your office, there could be somebody trying to hear no matter what. Like, I think the only way to make sure that information is staying controlled is to actually just text it out.
And it's only on your personal phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not putting it on a hard drive or anything.
Yeah. It's staying on the phone. That's not a phone that even gets connected to a computer, because you never know. Just for security purposes, you don't want that information getting leaked.
Right. The very personal conversations he's probably had with a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, very personal stuff that, like, nobody needs to know about it, because there's probably nothing wrong going on, but it is like personal stuff, right? Because he's like friends with these people, like a lot of them, and that's all he does all day is just like tries to like probe stuff out of them.
But that's the thing, is that's how you get that's how you get to the point where you're in a position like his, where you get that constant flow of information, is you're taking that time and getting to know those people, so they have incentive to be, you're the person I'm going to go to when I need to let information out, not Peter Schrager or James Palmer or whoever else. No, I'm calling Adam, or I'm texting Adam fucking Schefter.
Right. And like, not the guy who fucking arson judge, not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Bob
Nightingale. Just, and then he's up there stammering about how he fucked up. Like I don't know what happened, guys. I don't know what happened. I'm like,
but here's what's crazy is Bob Nightingale was, because during the MLB lockout, Bob Nightingale was the best source of information as to how the negotiations were going.
See, I mean, never fucking heard Bob Nightingale's name before he texted before he tweeted arson judge. Never heard it. So like, he's a genius kind of.
But that's the thing, is because I have the two accounts that I have notifications turned on for on Twitter are Bob Nightingale and Adam Schefter.
So he's a G, like he's legitimate. Like that's probably why it was such a big deal, because like he usually is, right? That'd be like Schefter like doing some fucking crazy shit with like, a Deshaun Watson thing or somebody signing or something like that. He just fucks it up and like gets the wrong team and does it early. And we're like, oh shit, Adam, it's all right, buddy.
Or like when Steve Harvey said the wrong name at the Miss America pageant for who won.
Yeah, remember that? Yes, like unfortunately, Tony, it just showed even more that nobody gives a shit about who wins that fucking beauty pageant. Nobody gave a fuck. They were like, yeah, I guess.
He got shit for like a week, and then it was done.
Yeah, it was like, who cares? Like, yeah, I read the wrong name of it.
But I thought it was funny, because when the arson judge thing happened, there was a couple of Steve Harvey memes about Aaron Judge is signing with the Giants. No, sorry, Aaron Judge is signing with the Yankees, and I was just like, God damn
it. The memes of Aaron Judge with like emo hair in front of his burning house is like I just love them. Like I laugh at them out loud every time.
Judge memes, bro, those were so good.
Oh my god, like so stupid. It's so fucking stupid, and like that's the whole point. It's so fucking stupid. Loved it. Yeah.
All right. For those of you that have been supporting us and stuck with us through the 2 hours and 25 minutes, hey, we kept it under 3 hours this time. We're doing better.
Yes, we did.
Thank you for your support. We will see you next week. You can catch Dan and I Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Sports Report on the channel that you're watching this show on. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Shout us out when you see us. Share our content. Follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Free Fernando Tatis from the chains that he wears for juicing.
I think he's going to Boston.
Also, really arson judge I got some fire extinguishers today in the mail. Not a joke. People put fire extinguishers around your house just in case you light them on fire.